about medical coverage, which the Democrats are constantly on the news saying that 12 million Americans are going to lose medical coverage, and you guys have not directly, you are willing to admit that there is fraud currently taking place, but the Democrats haven't presented a number. And the answer is we're just going to reallocate that money, which the Republicans are acting as Republicans act. It is a core ideology for them to cut taxes and cut government spending.
Yeah, I agree. They're acting like Republicans. They are acting like Republicans.
Republicans given that's like waste fraud for Medicaid spending? What percent have they said?
I don't want to misrepresent what is in the bill, so I'm not gonna give a bad number.
Like I think like because I'm trying to say I haven't heard anything personally. Maybe I just need to look into it. But I'm gonna say that if Republicans are the ones saying there's this massive amount of like waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid spending, I kind of feel like it's on them to substantiate that. Which
from the Google AI overview, 5% of Medicaid spending is considered fraudulent. 5%.
Well, it's like if we have that problem, we can bring it up, and Republicans can bring it up. Anyone can bring it up, and we can try to pass legislation to tone down that fraud or something. You know what I mean? Like I just blowing things up because we have. That's like saying, okay, too many white-collar tax crimes. We just don't need to collect taxes anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's like completely just thwarting the system because crimes has happened in the said system. I just don't. If you use that logic for like any program, home loans, oh my God, this home loan bank fraud scam happened. No one gets home loans anymore. Like it's just like wherever you apply this, it doesn't make sense to punish the majority because a minority chose to abuse the system. We just don't apply that anywhere.
Okay, just for clarity, the amount of money that is fraudulent in 2023, at least, I'm sure it's fluctuated this year. $31 billion in federal payments. Do you know how much they cut from Medicaid? They're projected to
$100 billion over 10 years.
They're projected to cut anywhere from $880 billion to $1 trillion over 10 years.
Okay, so can you do a quick Google search and see how much of the current Medicaid spending goes to profits?
To profits for
to the medical providers? Because here's another, so you could take the waste, fraud, and abuse, the 5%, and then you could pair it with the medical industry profit margins, and then you're going to have a good chunk of what the cut is.
Oh, you have a problem with medical industry profit margins?
Do the police station and fire department get to operate under a for-profit
I'm just saying,
system?
like you're advocating for
yes,
the fact that it's really heavy on the deregulation. Like your issue is the corporations profiting off of the system.
My issue is with you're creating humanitarian crisis. You can profit off of humanitarian issues.
So you're mad that these private companies within this free market that is extremely upheld by conservative values are profiting off of it. So do you believe like regulations on these corporations to protect the consumer? Do you think regulations on these corporations in order to protect consumer taxpayer dollars like would be advantageous? Is that what you're looking for? Is that the solution that you dream of?
Regulating the profit margins on
we got a socialist
funded by taxpayers.
We got
a socialist in the house.
Over the next 10 years that's projected to cut from Medicaid is 32 times each year. 32 times the amount that is fraudulent. So we're not just cutting the amount that's fraudulent each year, we're cutting 32 times that. So you're cutting it from people who are deservingly getting it.
Yeah. One of my biggest issues is when I was a conservative, I was like really scared of big corporations. I was like, oh my God, these big corporations are evil, the deep state, blah, 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 blah. And then when I started looking at legislation, I was like, wait. But like when it comes to regulating these corporations and their mass profits and abuse of the system, seems to be just looking at it legislatively. Republicans have been upholding it staunchly. It's like part of their policy to do so. 70 coal corporations have now been able to just like pump their mercury into the air because Donald Trump said deregulation, and these are the same people that like go crunk over chemtrails. Okay, so I just look at it and I'm like,
I don't go crunk over chemtrails. Do you believe that big pharma
the concept
should have been able to make $90 billion
the point is not
COVID vaccine?
The point is not chemtrails. The point is, if you're going to go down this conspiratorial rabbit hole in which you think corporations are fucking over people, please look at the legislation and kind of decipher between which party is deregulating these corporations in order to continue fucking over people. Like conservatives, one of their biggest stint, and again, this is on concept. You might not have a problem with red dye, but this is on the same concept of what we're talking about when it comes to like red dye. Conservatives ran on the Maha. They ran on Kennedy being like, red dye is going to mess us all up, which is like totally valid. Fine. If you believe that, I believe that. Okay. I'm low key. I'm just going to say that. But I was like, oh yeah, RFK will come in and fix this. And I thought to myself, I'm like, what is the only state that had regulated red dye at the time? Just think of beginning 2024 election. What is the only state to have regulated red dye? And I'm looking and I'm like, oh shit, that's California. Why is that? Oh, because it's majority Democrats, and they are the party that sees a problem where the consumer is being hurt, and they say, oh, wait, maybe we should put regulations on the corporations to protect the consumers. And then I look at Republicans, I look at Donald Trump's first term, and I'm like, wait, these people care about the children, care about the carcinogenics, blah, 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 blah. And then in Donald Trump's first term, he appoints the Attorney General of Oklahoma as head of the health department, and this man goes over to overturn water EPA protections. To like dump carcinogenics into our waterways. These corporations just allowed to do this. And I think to myself, I'm like, whoa, there's a problem here. Republicans are selling me this idea that they're going to drain the swamp and end the deep state, and all these corporations are poisoning us, and they're going to take care of it, just to find out behind the scenes legislatively they're doing the exact same opposite. And I'm like, whoa, shit. It's funny because conservatives on that side, they would always share these memes when I was a conservative influencer of the ketchup bottles in Canada compared to the ketchup bottles in America. And I look at them and I'm like, okay, what's the difference between Canada and America? One side is more liberal and willing to regulate these corporations, whereas over here, it's just a free-for-all. And that is conservative values. So this is on concept. Again, maybe you don't have a problem with red dye, but this idea that you're upset that corporations are getting richer while fucking over the middle class or everyday consumers, and then saying like, yeah, Republicans or yeah, Donald Trump is just the biggest oxymoron, I think. Not oxymoron.
So my issue isn't that corporations are getting richer. That's not my issue at all.
Not necessarily richer, but I said fucking over consumers. Funds. Yes, I'm saying fucking over consumers.
It's when taxpayer funds are provided or funding said program, they should not be able to make a profit. We were told that the COVID vaccine was free, yet Big Pharma made $90 billion in profit. That's
Welcome to free market capitalism that is upheld
free market. You
conservative
can't
system.
Increase the taxes on the Americans and then say that something's free. And then you have the power to implement policy, and then you require everybody to go get this COVID vaccine, say it's free, and then you have hijacked the system for profits. That's my issue. It's not a free market.
Your problem is the privatized corporations. Yes, those are privatized corporations who are being allocated government contracts. I'm like, sorry, but like for one, we needed the vaccines, and the only thing we had to rely on was privatized corporations. We did not have we don't have a public system that would have provided these vaccines.
If you really needed it, then there's no profit. It's not a profitable venture. You
so
can't
are you
lobby.
Saying that,
You're not.
Are you saying the government?
Like, are you going to just build so who was going to provide the vaccines? Where were the vaccines going to be made? Because if all we have to rely on are privatized corporations, where were the vaccines going to be made?
You could put policy in place that allows for a profit margin of 1%, because what happens is government spending goes up and up and up because these private companies are allowed to continue to make profits. And the only way that you can continue to pay those exorbitant prices is by raising the taxes.
So you had a problem with the tax. We've been under Donald Trump's tax plan since 2017. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm talking big picture. This isn't a Trump issue.
Okay, but I don't think your taxes was specifically raised in order. I don't think
issue.
Yeah, but you're talking about COVID vaccine, and the COVID vaccine is not a big picture issue. It was something that happened that we've moved 5 years past now. So you're applying a big picture issue to a temporary problem that your taxes never got raised over. And we only had privatized companies to rely on. How much profit have the
defense contractors been able to make?
Defense contractors?
Yeah, how much profit have defense contractors been able to make in the last 20 years? enough to fund the immigration problem currently in America, probably 15 times over. Enough to feed the homeless, enough
You
to
wanna
house
stop
the
them from price
homeless,
gouging,
enough
right?
to combat
Yeah,
hunger
You don't want
issues
price
globally.
gouging.
the thing that you're wanting, you'd find, I think, you're.
On the left.
This is regulations. Whether these are regulations that need to be applied that are not being applied, because do you think that Republicans are going to apply these regulations?
Not at all.
On it, like, do you honestly think Republicans are going to be the party that apply these regulations to stop the price gouging?
Neither party is going to implement these regulations because both parties receive campaign donations from the same corporations. It's just a matter of who gets more in what election cycle.
Who do you think is more likely to like introduce regulations?
Neither.
Neither. Okay. So
I
like,
would say it's a 0% chance from either party participating in implementing those regulations.
Okay. So yeah, if that's your justification for like going like third party, that's fine. But like at the end of the day, ultimately you ought to be more aligned with people who align more to the left, I believe. No. That's why you said.
Yeah, I mean, just any form of deregulating.
Hold on. Can I just this is an issue I just was brought to my attention. There was a group of colleges that were allocated $255 million a year under Trump, and then when Biden-Harris got into office, they bumped that number up to $4 billion a year. So there's no chance that the Democrats are ever going to implement regulation that stops the loophole that can be exploited currently. They are going to exploit it more.
What loophole are you talking about?
Increasing the expenditures.
Whatever you're saying right now, I'm gonna have to see a source of what you're talking about that they increase it to $4 billion a year. 1, 2. When you say the loophole, you just said what loophole are you talking about?
Okay, so there's very little oversight once taxpayer funds have been allocated. There's very little.
My question was, what loophole were you referring to, and what I can look it up really quick. Like, what are you talking about? An increase of funds to a school is now $4 billion. Previous was $2 million, and then you said loophole, and I just don't think anyone in the audience.
$255 million. Okay, I think it was the historically black colleges were allocated under Biden. It was $250 million under Trump. He dropped it from $500 million, and then it bumped up to $4 billion a year, in total $16 billion under Biden and Harris.
Does it say what that was for? I mean, was that for tuition assistance? Was that for research?
It says a bunch of things. So this is my issue: is that there's no real oversight once the funds are allocated. You could spend it however you want, which is the loophole.
Yeah, but I mean that's up to the discretion of the university. I'll give you an example. Like,
I think he's talking about HBC. Are you talking about HBCUs?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like reading something right here that says Donald Trump administration implemented several policies aimed at supporting the HBCUs. So, I mean, is your problem that Democrats supported the HBCUs, or that Trump also supported the HBCUs?
My issue is not with the support to those colleges. What I am showing is the bump in allocated funds, and I cannot put faith in the Democrat Party.
We just got to confirm these funds, because I'm having a hard time believing that the funds went from $200 million to $4 billion. That's just like a jump that I'm not. I don't know if
I don't think it was that big. I don't think it was that
The
big.
$4 billion.
$4 billion a year.
Uncomfortable with that? Yes.
I don't think the jump was that big.
I gotta just look that up, fact check that really quick, because
So what he's talking about is the $255 million that was funded for, I believe, like historically black colleges from Trump, and then he's saying that was bumped to $4 billion, but that was the he's talking about the Joe Biden. Yeah, I mean, like they both are talking about money going to colleges, but like I wouldn't say these are necessarily like the exact same thing. No.
Yeah, but it just wasn't $4 billion a year.
Yeah, that's correct.
How much was it then?
It was $4 billion over the course of 2021 to 2023, not $4 billion a year.
Well, so that's still $255 million to $1 billion.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope that we increased funding to financial federal aid, and Pell Grants and educational benefits for veterans, and I mean,
I'm still waiting to get
I
brought
hope
up,
my
y'all.
taxpayer
I'm
dollars
sorry.
go to things
I
like
didn't say
that
that.
instead of like massive defense budgets.
I requested up, so I'm just waiting for it to get accepted. They probably waiting because they in the middle of this exchange, so they just waiting to bring people up.
Using taxpayer
Okay.
funds.
So
for
are we
profit,
coming?
corporate profits?
Are we coming back to the thing to where we want to tear that down the entire system because we don't like how the system's being handled? Are we back at that point?
What do you mean? Tear down the entire system? Medicaid is not being cut entirely.
We are not talking about Medicaid. We're talking about HBCUs. What?
Oh no!
I mean, if you have an issue with $4 billion going to the HBCUs, do you have a problem with $2 trillion going towards the billionaires through this tax cut?
You mean they're not going to be collecting $2 trillion? It's not going to them. They won't be collecting money from them.
So we as a government lose out on that money that we would have otherwise collected. So we would have collected it, and now we're not collecting it, and now we're losing that out. We're just losing on that. So
right, and that's. I have
so
no problem
it's like
with
the same thing as
I
paying
have
it
no
out.
problem with cutting taxes.
Quick question. You say that we're not paying it to them, but like if I have, say that you're supposed to give me $10 a month, okay, and I'm supposed to survive off $10 a month, and all of a sudden I pass a ruling that says now you're supposed to give me $5 a month, like obviously.
I don't know who that
We're
is,
not
bro.
giving you
It's
anything,
white.
but I'm still in a deficit.
He ain't on
Does
the
that make
Falcons
sense?
no more. This jersey old as hell, bro.
I've created the problem. So, like, we needed that. I'd say I'd rather collect that money and put it into programs like funding these. I mean, Pell Grants.
I'm going to challenge you to do some research and see how much money could be saved if
Roddy White.
all government spending was not allowed to go towards corporate profits.
I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I just don't think you're finding that on the conservative side. Like if your whole stint is corporate profits for the social safety nets or any of the social programs that our taxpayer dollars go to fund, if they shouldn't be making these huge corporate profits off of that, I agree with you. I just really don't understand how you think voting or supporting Donald Trump is the answer to regulating these corporations from profiting off of, these government contracts. I just don't know how you think like
Trump,
the Republicans are the
Trump
answer
created
to that.
Doge, didn't he? So I don't really see how you could. I just showed you how the Democrats increased allocated funds.
Can you tell me what Doge did for you? So this regulation. So I would like you to point out one instance in which Doge curbed those pesky fucking corporate profits. Can you give me
I wish y'all could see this, but I can't.
An example of that happening?
I'm not going to be able to get my phone.
Because that was your claim. I just said you're supporting the Republicans to put regulations on these damn corporate profits, okay, that they're getting from these government
Nicole,
contracts.
I know it's been that long since you've been on the stream.
The answer to that was
I done had this for
no.
you
said that I'm not going to find.
I think it's been over a month.
In the Republican
That's how you know you've been MIA.
That's exactly what I just said. You're repeating exactly what I just said. Yeah, you're repeating exactly what I just said.
So I'm not saying that the solution to the current corporate profit problem is Doge. I am saying
Caleb, then what is your solution to the
brought this to the table?
The conversation is the corporate
So I can find some level of that.
The conversation was the corporate profit. So I just want to know how you think, or if there's anything Republicans have done in the past that indicate to you that Republicans are going to be the one to put regulations on government contracts, regulations on these corporations to stunt their profits. I just even saying that out of my mouth, Republicans stunting profits. We're in two different universes. That doesn't even work in the same sentence. I'm not really sure how you're. I'm not saying that you said anything.
Republicans to do it because historically speaking, the Republicans want to cut spending.
Yeah, you did. It was in the.
They want to cut spending when it comes to their programs.
It was pretty much about
benefit
this
the
right
middle
here.
class. while simultaneously giving tax breaks and
I'll show you. I'll
deregulating
pull it up.
corporations that benefit the wealthy. So I'm not really
I'll pull
sure
it up.
how you think that Republicans are going to be like, yeah, for sure. The HBCUs, well, we could have more money to support more people if we cap these regulations on these corporations. Wow, more money. Oh, these college books cost so goddamn much. Let's put a cap right here so that
Pretty
these
much gonna be
colleges aren't
working with
profiting off the
Unfuck
ways that they
America,
are, and we're funding, we're
doing
giving
debates,
grants
posting
to these
content.
colleges. Well, let's cap this.
Not on
so
this
that
next stop of the
more
tour, but
people
they
can be
going on
social
like a
programs.
college
Like,
tour
what
to
I'm saying
combat
just
like
sounds
Charlie
very
Kirk and shit.
antithetical to the right.
Throughout
So
America, you know how
I
you
guess
go
I'm
to
not
school and
I'm not
debate college
understanding
students. So the goal is to get a bunch of content creators
how
to
you think
combat
the
his
Republicans-
bullshit that he be spewing. You know, you always see him go viral with the damn college kids. So we got more, I ain't gonna say competent, but people that's not just college students that's getting
cut spending from who?
a surprise
spending
debate
from
on
who?
campus, but
Cut
people that's
spending
coming
from who?
prepared to combat his talking points and shit like that, you know.
Anything.
Government funded anything. Okay.
Yeah.
They will cut spending anywhere as long as they feel that it helps
How does
cut
that
spending.
Is that true for the military?
Huh?
Where do
That's
Democrats
true.
cut spending?
Oh no, because you were saying that Republicans want to cut spending for like anywhere.
Moosey, don't
but
get
I'm like,
banned.
Is that true for the military? Like when we look at who's like, let's like expand everything, like our private military contracts, like Boeing.
Well, he keeps
Yeah.
he keeps talking about the cutting of the spending, and it's like historically, whenever we look at the things that Republicans cut, it's benefits of the middle class while simultaneously lifting regulations on corporations to get richer. I mean, this is a play-by-play book that they apply every single time they get in office. I just do not know how this guy's coming to the conclusion that their desire to cut spending from the middle class is somehow going to translate into a higher chance of them regulating corporations, in which they have never done in their goddamn life. So I just am not seeing the correlation of the two to say that, yeah, they'll take away your Medicaid, so for sure they'll regulate
Someone make America gay again.
government contracts and make sure that these corporations aren't profiting as much as they do. Like, I'm not understanding how you're conflating the two, with them doing one thing being an indicator of them doing the other thing.
What party is known for cutting spending?
Okay.
Which one?
Okay,
is
we're
known
gonna be
for
moving on to the
increasing
next
spending?
guest. I don't.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna. Is there any mag in the chat? I'm gonna be moving on here. We're
Thanks
just gonna
for
get.
having me out. Appreciate
Of course.
Peace out, man.
Thanks for talking, man.
Bye, buddy.
Adios.
Stay blessed. We're just gonna keep getting they'll cut the spending card
Yeah.
swiped on repeat. We understand that.
Circular argument over and over.
that's like I don't know, that's weird. It's like me saying I went to the gas station today. That definitely means I'm going on vacation in Florida 2 weeks. I just don't understand how the conflation is being there.
Now's a good time to
Paranoid.
talk about why you're going to Florida.
Oh yeah, guys, we're going to Florida. This is the Unfuck America tour. We are unfucking the U.S. Edgelord masters have united in order to bring about peace within the Democratic Party, right? And we're gonna go head on Charlie Kirk at the SAS event. We're gonna say, hey, you're brainwashing kids. So you can donate using any of our links in the bio. That be you'll just see it. Just click on the bio, or you could buy tickets if you happen to live in Tampa. July 11th, 12th, 13th. I think it's the 12th specifically that you'd come and see us. 6 o'clock, eh? Is it 6 o'clock? I think it's at 6 o'clock,
Ooh.
Florida time.
Can we get a Logix in here? I think he might be.
Logix, yes.
Nice.
Oh.
Finally.
Y'all, sorry, Logix. I didn't see you in chat there.
No, you good. You good. Can y'all hear me good?
Check one.
Yes, sir. What's up, Robbie?
Oh, everything. Where do we need me on video right now? I just had Thai food.
You're totally fine. Your voice
No, but why
is a
not? I
blessing
heard
in
why
itself.
not first. I'll get it set up. I have the technology.
Perfect.
Oh,
I
there we
prefer
go. There
it.
we go. Oh, hell
Yes.
yeah.
There he is. Nice.
But I don't want to tax the corporations. They've been through so much. Like, why doesn't anybody want their minimum wage raised? Like, what the? I don't want the corporations to. They've been
Sorry.
suffering. Elon needs another hair transplant.
I
What
love you,
the
Robbie.
We needed him earlier.
Yeah.
But it's just
we need another. We need a MAGA for you to tell to start
it's just
talking about storming the Applebee's.
it's so funny
I
how
was
y'all
busy
run.
buying a costume for Turning Point next week when we visit Tampa.
Logic, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say
I
it's
went
just
to
so funny
iHeart.
how this is what happens when you run down every talking point. You go point by point, and it's like, all right, let's just go circle back to what I said, because I can't just concede anything. I just gotta make sure that who's the party to cut. It's like, oh my god.
You just kept saying that, and I'm like, okay, I understand that you say that they cut, and I'm like, I'll show you what they're cutting, and I'll also simultaneously show you that they continue to deregulate corporations. Like, I just like you're talking about something over here while trying to fix something over here, and I just it's not blending for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Paranoid, are you MAGA?
Yes, I am.
You have an awesome panel of people here who would love to talk to you.
All right. Do it.
Okay.
Anything on your mind?
Support President Trump.
What policies or positions?
Despise the left.
All right. Can you elaborate on that further?
Yeah, because of C-19, the border, they, them, the left allows riots. I want détente with Russia. I support Israel. I think what's happened is, this is just all my personal opinion, but postmodernism, the Frankfurt School, Hollywood, MTV, has made the left crazy. And I know it's ironic I support Israel, but that's my view. So we can talk about any one of those things if you want.
All right. You said immigration. I don't know if we want to have a conversation on that again, y'all.
Yeah, let's move to for the audience sake. We'll move off of immigration, and I mean he had a bag of beautiful things that we can go down. Did you say was your first point that you said you despise liberals? Was that the first point?
Despise what?
I don't know if I just heard that right. You despise liberal or despise the left? Was that
Left. Yeah, I think you said the left.
Oh.
What is the left? Yeah.
And that's because you said the they, thems, and
C-19, the border.
C-19.
The left allows. I want détente with Russia. I support Israel. So
what with
we can
Russia?
talk about anyone. I want détente or an easing of tensions or détente just means an easing of.
All right, I just needed to. I had to turn you up, and I kept trying to lean in, thinking that you weren't on a headphone. Sorry.
Yeah, you hear me okay?
Okay, yeah,
I can hear you. Yeah.
So, how do you feel about Trump's promise on, he's going to get the Ukraine-Russia war settled on day one, and so far we've done essentially nothing. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it's a tough situation, and the reason for that is because this goes back approximately 35 years. In around 1990, the U.S. under Secretary of State James Baker gave Premier Gorbachev a guarantee as a precondition of the reunification of Germany that NATO would not expand 1 inch east. And the Soviets acquiesced to the reunification of Germany on that promise, but the U.S. violated that, the West violated that, and we've seen that approximately in the last 35 years, approximately 25 countries have joined NATO, which was a great provocation to the Russians. And if we look at 1997, Zbigniew Brzezinski, who was one of President Carter's national security advisors, laid out a policy toward Russia that was extremely hostile, that essentially the policy was that NATO would expand to encircle Russia and break Russia up into several segments. And this policy failed. And if we look at 2014, the West orchestrated a coup in Ukraine. And all of these things have greatly provoked the Russians. and this is funny because I like my dad and I argue about this because he's like so pro-Ukrainian, and I'm just trying to tell him all these things. And he thinks that, and probably a lot of you do too on this panel, that Russia cannot be negotiated with. Is that your view?
I just think Russia's not the most trustworthy person. I mean, at the end of the day, we live on this planet and we can't escape these fuckers. So there's got to be some level of negotiation. At the same time, I deem them extremely untrustworthy.
I think we have to deal with them because of the risk of MAD.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We live on this planet. We can't escape them. We have to have some level of. There's got to be a door open to talk for sure. But that rings true for any country here that has anything that could potentially.
Look, and I agree with the opposition point of view that Putin did not have to invade in 2022, and the Budapest Memorandum of 1994. Because Ukraine gave up their I'll do TikTok speak here, but N weapons.
Mm-hmm.
That was the agreement for the Russians not to invade, right? So there's a lot of. I'm just trying to articulate that it's not all Russia's fault. That's all I'm trying to say.
Would you agree that, like, in 1991, was it, that Russia acknowledged Ukraine as a sovereign nation? Okay.
But the reunification of Germany was a major concession by the Soviets because the West agreed that NATO would not expand. Do you think that was violated?
Would not expand.
East.
The problem is, when we talk, when was that agreement made?
Around 1990.
Around
It was informal. It was just a formal agreement with Secretary of State James Baker under Bush 41, with Premier Gorbachev, and then, but you see, shortly after the Soviet Union fell. So the U.S. adopted what occurred, according to the Russian scholar, very brilliant man by the name of Stephen Cohn. He was at Princeton, and he described this as a winner-take-all policy towards Russia, where we agreed that NATO would not expand, but the West violated that, and that's why I think we're in the situation we're in now.
I guess my main contention with this, I'll go ahead and acknowledge that, like, I do need to investigate more into the Russia-Ukraine situation. But one, it does seem like Russia seems to be pumping out a decent bit of misinformation. But as to that, so that makes me hesitant to believe, I guess, like, Russian sides on things. But two, the thing about it is, if we acknowledge that Russia did, see Ukraine as a sovereign nation in 1991, I don't think that Russia then gets to dictate what Ukraine gets to do with their own country when they recognize them as an independent country.
Well, again, as I mentioned, Zbigniew Brzezinski, he explained that if Russia does not have a control over Ukraine, Russia will never be a superpower again. So this is a real politic.
Hey guys, I am so sorry because this conversation is really good, but I will tell you we're gonna have to move on to actual. This is higher up orders, man. We got to move on to Trump and Trump policy and debating specifically Trump. So I'm gonna let you guys go into that really quick. But these numbers are just gonna tank if we go on this Russia battle right now. I'm so sorry. And the thing is, I like talking about Russia, but it's just. I've learned that no one else wants to hear about Russia.
Okay, we can pivot off Russia. Why don't we talk about C-19, the U.S. southern border, LGBTQ, the left allowing riots?
If you guys want to run on the LGBT, that's totally fine. I'd say we talked about the border. We're probably gonna wait a little bit to go back on that. Maybe in a bit. We just ran on that, and then C-19. I would like to talk about that actually.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah.
But the only issue, Logix, do you know how this app works? Like, are they okay with us talking about it? Because one time I tried talking about it and they said I was engaging in conspiracy theory.
Oh, see, I don't know. I'm new to TikTok, so I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, every time I talk about C-19, I get conspiracy theory.
Yeah, we don't have to do C-19. I try and do TikTok speak. I try and change the word. Like
Right.
Yeah.
I'll
Hey,
talk
y'all.
about
I'll go to bed. Y'all have a great night.
All right.
The reason.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care, man.
we can talk about whatever you all want.
Can
I'm
we
about to bring-
possibly
What should-
like
what
win
should-
you? Can we win you back with like minimum wage or possibly no corporate money and campaigns? Like anything?
I don't like corporations at all.
Okay, right on.
Look,
We're on the same page.
I'm back. What's up,
Robbie,
Karen?
can we get it? Robbie, really quickly, can we get a Storm the Applebee's line?
Tampa, July 12th. We're going to storm Turning Point and the Applebee's. We're all going to join up at Applebee's. MAGA, woke, weirdos, wastoids. We're going to have an incredible night. Let's come together and storm the Applebee's. Go.
I love you so much. I love you.
I love you. I can't wait to go fishing.
Yeah, straight up. I'm bringing all my poles. I'm bringing my gear. I'm going to be forcing everyone to fish with me. I'm so sorry, guys.
Good. Healthy.
Go ahead, Ann. Take it away. This is. Feel like you got a lot to say.
Oh, I mean, we chatted yesterday. So the stuff about Russia, look, even if we go like, okay, well, Russia, Ukraine provoked them, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this guy thinks that if Canada invaded us and we didn't have nukes, that we should give Canada a third of our country. So, I mean, I take that to be kind of crazy on its own. But look, we can just talk about Trump. Like, this is what we're here for. We're here to talk about why you support Trump. Trump isn't negotiating any peace deals. He's, in fact, just, like, provoking the Ukrainian president for no fucking reason.
Oh, Ann, did we talk the other night?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I said this is the guy who wants to give up a third of the U.S. if Canada invades us.
It's an unrealistic scenario.
It doesn't matter. If it happened, then we're fucked because of you.
Doesn't
If you were president, we'd be fucked in that scenario.
No, it does matter. It would never happen.
No, look, okay.
Well,
look,
if you
I
still
can
would
just ask you,
give it
I
up
can
in
just
a
ask you,
hypothetical.
yeah, I mean, look, I can just ask you, like, okay, if aliens invaded the Earth, would that be wrong, of them to do? And you would say yes. You'd be like, yeah, it's really bad. Aliens shouldn't invade us. They should leave us alone or not harm us or whatever. Okay, but you have no problem answering that, I'm sure. Like,
What was the U.S. response 63 years ago in Cuba?
okay, this doesn't respond to what I said. What I said was that Trump is not trying to negotiate with Ukraine and Russia. In fact, he's unnecessarily provoking the Ukrainian president.
Trump has tried to leave the U.S. out of this. That because the UK, France, Germany, they are in.
But he's not
But
trying
wait,
to leave us out of it. That's not true. He had bad signal yesterday. He might still have bad signal.
Trump talked to President Putin today, right?
I wasn't aware of that, but I'm sure someone is.
And he said nothing happened. They didn't get anywhere.
President Trump talked to President Putin today.
Okay.
And that's good because Biden was not talking to Trump at all. Or excuse me, Biden was not talking to Putin at all.
Okay.
Wait.
This is. Oh, go ahead, Ann. I'm sorry.
I mean, like, okay, yeah, he's like probably refusing to talk to the guy who invaded another country and is now demanding like the third of the country.
And not only that, how long has Trump been talking to him, and what has that got? Like, you say that as if like, oh yeah, he's talked to him. Is how long has this been going on? Since
Like, should we talk to
it's not
Iran
like-
if Iran starts demanding like a third of Israel? Like,
Right.
that'd be crazy.
Not only that, when he talks to him, he sucks up to him. It's not like he's
Iran
trying to
does
do
not
anything
have-
for
and
America
this
when
is
he
the whole
talks to him.
point to stop Iran.
Do we? So, due to the fast-paced nature of these debates, we probably will be moving on to another guest. I'm so sorry, Paranoid. The Russia conversation will have to be delayed for another day.
I just get really frustrated about the whole jumping back and forth between points because he did this yesterday where he came up and he starts talking about like, we asked him why'd you vote for Trump? Well, I think the left is crazy. Okay, well, why'd you vote for Trump? That's not a good reason to vote for Trump. And he's like BLM and P19 and blah blah blah, and I'm like, can we do one thing at a time? Like, okay.
It was his inclusion of they thems in the answer that busted me up. I thought that was hilarious. Like whatever, your opinion is fun. Like whatever. Like I really don't.
Yeah.
You have an opinion, but it's when I hear it said out loud, they're like, well, I voted for Trump. I voted for Trump because P19 and then the they thems. I'm just like,
what did we do to you?
And you caused Trump's win. Okay, you're the reason the Big Beautiful Bill is passed. It is your fault, Anne. You did it.
What do to anybody?
They're allergic to they them, so they just couldn't touch, Kamala's name on the ballot because they had they them written all over it.
I didn't know Kamala said that they them get to run the government now.
Yeah, when they open up when they open up they thems in the dictionary, it's your face next to Kamala Harris. So
I'm okay with that. I mean, sure.
Soul, are you a voter for?
Yep. Well, what?
Perfect. A voter for the Trump man?
Fuck no.
You're one of us?
Yeah, I'm a progressive.
Oh, yay.
I'm so sorry. I would not kick you, but the only reason I have to is because we only have room for one MAGA person. This whole entire panel is part of the floor.
I wasn't going to be on here long regardless, so I just want to speak 2 points, and then you can kick me, and I can, be gone to the void of the dark depths called the Shadow Realm.
Whoa.
So, you can kick me to the Shadow Realm. I just want to state 2 points. One, Paranoid, if you were in here, that whole written agreement thing where NATO can't suppress past the East, that was never a formal agreement. That was just a passing conversation that both Reagan and Gorbachev had when the USSR was collapsing. Second of all, and also, Robbie, love your videos. I keep up the good work. I just want to come in here and say that. You're doing God's work by storming Applebee's. Thank you.
Hell yeah, man. We're going to have a new Grateful Dead parking lot. We're going to live forever. Progression is coming.
I agree. Yeah, I apologize for coming in here. No, I didn't vote for the Orange Man. I just want to speak my 2 points, and then I can go the Shadow Realm. But thank you for having me on.
All right, giving you a follow, man.
All right, peace out, guys.
We love you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Love you too. Love you guys too.
Oh, sorry, buddy. I did not mean to cut you off. Any MAGA in the chat? Paranoid. You're putting MAGA as if I don't know that's you, buddy. Your name, MAGA or Paranoid Geopolitical Joker, it's pretty distinguished. It's not like it's user 123 and user 1234. Can't confuse me. Do we have any MAGA in the chat who don't want to necessarily talk about Russia? I love talking about it. It's just for the internet, or if you're on their YouTube space, or we're actively having some kind of, like Zelensky came and got made fun of, or unless it's an impending Russia scene happening, no one will listen to it. They don't like the war talk.
I love the history lesson, but what does this?
Just what did you say?
Oh, I thought I loved it.
Everything I'm interested in, nobody likes, including
Yeah.
Love the history lesson, but hello?
I'm interested in it. It's just I know the audience. Every time I see it happening, when in any live, it's not even just this live, any live, when they start honing in on anything that has to do with war or geopolitics, it's just the numbers tank. Unless there's specifically a geopolitical creator, it just tends to be a.
Yeah.
Every time.
In here, they would definitely love to talk about it because it's interesting just from that aspect of things too, tactically. So.
Yes. Veterans. We had veterans in here and veterans holding alive about this issue. For CFH, I think CFH has a lot of followers that are extremely interested in these topics.
Oh, yeah.
It would be.
That's what I'll do.
Huh?
I said maybe that's what I'll do. I'll hold one.
Yeah. And if you guys ever wanted to do one, on this platform or Unfucked platform or whatever, feel free, and we'd advertise for it. And I think it would be a good thing to have.
To do what? Pardon?
veterans talking about more of these geopolitical issues.
Oh, Slay.
Yeah. Big Slay. Any MAGA in the chat who want to talk about anything? We got Robbie. He's the biggest temptation as to why you should get up here.
Right.
Paranoid commented MAGA again. Like he does. It's kind of adorable. He seems like a sweet guy, you know what I mean? He seems nice enough. But he did. I can pretend if it keeps him away. Let's storm the Burger King, Robbie. Okay,
Are there
I love
any
that
around
comment.
Tampa? What are we going to storm around Tampa for real?
No, for reals. Like, I want to go storm something with you guys.
we
I
should
think-
visit the Hulk Hogan beach shop where he hawks his
I will.
t-shirts.
I will have a rental vehicle, and we will go do that.
Like a Hummer?
I can't.
Well, I think it's going to be whatever the rental vehicle is. We got to decide tomorrow on it.
Well,
But whatever it is.
You're going fishing too, so you get one of them duck boats like we have up in Boston that can be on the road, in the water.
That's what we need.
And
Yeah.
that's what we need.
And that's what we need to storm the Hulk Hogan shirt store, the T-shirt store.
Or Turning Point. I mean, the fact of
We
it
are
is,
going to. Yeah.
we need to remember Donald Trump is in the WWE Hall of Fame. They love theater. They love comedy. If we storm them like WCW stormed the WWF in a duck boat and we're dressed as crocodiles, come on.
That's it. That's it. I think it would be very good. And like my plan is to go in there and I'm going to try to debate as many as possible. And then I'm going to put on my problematic clothing. And that's when the storming of SAS begins. We're going to storm the Student Action Summit and then purposely try to get kicked out. I think it'll make viral content. My only intent behind it is because I know it'll be just like getting kicked out of SAS with Robbie Roadstreamer is kind of, that's like peak. I don't know if I don't know if you can gain
I'm going to
any
be
more
honest with
past
you
that.
right here. I'm going down to make friends. I am going to try to unite. These are so many teenage boys unsure about their body potential. If I'm to go in there and talk about eating elk and doing DMT and joining me while we support women in progression, I think dressed as a crocodile, I think we're going to make the myths. Let's make allies at Turning Point and turn on Kirk, unkirk America.
I love you. That's why they're
Unkirk
gonna,
America
they're
was good. Unkirk
Yeah,
America was good.
Your plan is so solid. So I mean that might be the reason they kick us out. They're going to be so scared of our ability to turn these people. They're going to be like, oh God, no.
Let them
They can join
kick
us.
out looking like the movie Animal House, endearing. We make it funny. We're dressed as crocodiles.
Oh, yeah.
We have fun. We don't make
Yeah.
it V for Vendetta masks and locking hands and burning Teslas. We make people love us.
Funny, yes.
Yes.
They can't hate us. So it's like when they share the content out, no one can hate us because it was so positive for everyone.
Yeah.
They
We
can't do
should
anything
give
about
out-
it.
We should give out PS5 games and cologne and condoms and just make a lot of friends before they kick us out. Become martyrs.
I was
Wait,
going to say,
we
I
should
have-
definitely pass out condoms. I will do that actually.
I was going to say I worked for Planned Parenthood, Generation Action. They're like a chapter that they have on the campus that I just graduated from. And I have a box like this big of Plan B and like leftist propaganda.
Oh, hell yeah.
By the way, we're
I'm
going to
glad
be
we
about 30
had that
minutes from
before
Hulk
the
Hogan's
big
wrestling
booty
shop.
bill passed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have all that. I have like pronoun pins and all.
Oh my
shit.
God! Bring the pronoun pins. Bring the pronoun pins, please, because
Okay.
I will straight up while we're getting kicked out. Pronoun pins. Anyone? get your fucking ice cold pronoun pins here. Straight up.
Don't even let
Robbie,
them.
Robbie, we'll be about 30 minutes from Hulk's store, so
That's crazy.
it is very possible.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
I've already gotten him twice. Like, I got him, he was hawking beer up in Massachusetts, and I sang his theme song to him. Trump is a real felon. Then he thought the immigrants were eating cats. And then the second time I dressed as a bear. So if I can go as an alligator and meet him toe-to-toe on his home turf, man, we're going to take back the midterms. I swear.
I love you. You're the best. You're just the
We
best.
need to romanticize progression. That's the problem. We need to make something that little boys unsure about their bodies visiting Charlie Kirk can get excited about. We're not trying to just, let's hate Trump. Let's do this and that. Let's give these little tykes a chance to believe in dreams again by storming Hulk Hogan's beach shop with us, brother.
You're my kind of comedy, man. I mean, I think it's valid. I think it's something that they haven't seen the left. Like you look like a straight up J6er. You know what I mean? And you're going in there. they won't even know what hit them. They're gonna be like, okay, this guy looks like us. He's talking about storming the Applebee's. Where are we right now?
Steve Bannon gave me 2 minutes on Fox News Live at his press conference because he doesn't know what to make of it. I'm like, me and him, we were in Danbury prison together lifting weights, dude. When are we gonna storm Burger King?
I love this. Really quickly, is there anyone in the chat that's MAGA besides geopolitical? I know you really want to come up, but I'm sorry, you're really fixed on Russia. Who wants to come up and debate some Trump? We got time for one more Trump pony in. You got to give us your all.
Is TikTok funny about the LGBT topics too?
They can. I just call them like BLT people or something. Like literally the BLT people.
I know you can't say the word GAY. I get bananaed every time.
That's
yeah. Or we just call them BLT people or like fruity people.
I think it's because like people use it as an insult. Like people use GAY as an insult.
But the fact that it would supersede its real meaning is crazy. Like,
yeah.
It's funny. Like, now it's just an insult first. That's crazy.
Do you have the background, Mercedes?
The UFA background?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's buried in my photos. I didn't drag it out.
It's in the server, but it might be buried in there too.
Yeah, I'll have it on. Well, we're gonna do one tomorrow. I don't know who's gonna be celebrating the fireworks or not. I will be going and eating a burger at my stepdad's place and coming back and then just debating with Destiny on here.
So is he gonna be on like every Friday? Is it every Friday or?
No, he's a grab bag. So sometimes he's Thursday. But you want to be here for Monday because I think, and I'll make sure to clarify the dates and I'll make sure to have that for you. But Monday is going to be Destiny and Kyla. So that's going to be fun as fuck to watch. Kyla, she is like so good and she's punches with sass. I'm just like, holy shit.
My brain.
I'll work Monday, but I'll be listening.
Is that someone I know?
Kyla, they just runs in Destiny circles. She's really good. I think she's been on the Whatever podcast a couple times. She's an extremely good debater. She's very based, like holy based.
Paradise.
Yeah.
I was like, you said her real name, and I was like, wow.
That tracks now. Got it.
She fucking sent me a collab because I told her, I said, I'll leave my collabs open to you. You can send me whatever you want on Instagram. I'll collab it. She sent me a collab because I do that to help people get as many views as possible. And she's like, okay. And the first collab she sent me, I was like, my audience is not ready. She was like going off on someone for needing a trigger warning. And I was like, Kyla, God damn it. Yeah. I was like, shit, bitch. Okay. Go on, queen. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to accept it because I swear to God I'm based. But my audience was not ready for that. It's fine. It was fine. But I love her to death, so.
Are you going to do tomorrow at the same time, or?
Yeah, 7 o'clock. We normally do for the UFAs Monday and Thursdays at 7. But then tomorrow, Central Time, yep. And then randomly Destiny, like, hey, we can do it tomorrow, yeah? And I'm like, for sure. So 7.
Wait, yeah, I won't be seeing fireworks. I don't like fireworks, so I'll join you.
Yeah, cool. I live in Austin, and ain't no way I'm gonna go battle the crowds, and I just don't. It feels like a funeral, low key, so I'm just not. I'm gonna stay home and do the work. Is there any MAGA who wants to have a conversation? We're really nice people. I wish I had a Discord soundboard. Hold on. I think that's only in a VC channel. I'm gonna join my own VC channel, and they're just gonna be like, "What are you doing here?" Any MAGA, go ahead and request up, unless you're
Paranoid really wants to talk, but he wants to like do history class.
Okay, I know Nairi isn't, or Neri. Thurston isn't either, right? Where's the MAGA?
Oh, we heard that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Is there any MAGA who wants to have a simple conversation with some really good people? I'm sure it'll be worth your while. You won't talk about Russia? That's tempting. I'm halfway tempted. For you page in Oregon, what part of Oregon? I love Oregon. You're from Germany, but also Canadian. That's pretty cool. Looking for some MAGA. Looking for the maggots to debate. We love ya. We just want to talk. They're in shock. It's setting in for them. Probably. The amount of people, I just don't understand, like, this idea that they've really honed in on, that only left-leaning people use government assistance or programs, is crazy to me. I mean, it's a pretty direct 50-50 down the board, so I just don't know. For sure, dude.
They probably trying to cope after what happened today too. Like you just said. They like just rocking back and forth like, oh God.
Mhm.
Ain't no
Amy's in here. Amy is another person from the tour. We're looking for some MAGA debates. Oh my God, we're so desperate we might have to take up the geopolitical guy, and then I gotta face the fact that I've ignored him for the past 15 minutes in the comment section, really going off. He's gonna be like, huh?
No, I was reading a comment. I know a few Asians that are MAGA. Get them in here.
My mom is literally from Thailand. She's born in Thailand, migrated here. My grandma too. My mom is hardcore on the Trump train.
No kidding.
Mercedes, I know you're probably tired of being asked this, but why did you cut your hair? If you ever said, I didn't hear.
Why did I cut it?
Yeah.
Damn. Because beforehand, so I don't know if you guys really saw what my hair looked like beforehand. It was long, but it was only a very small portion up here.
Okay.
So to be able to grow it out, you have to cut it all.
Oh, so you want to grow it again?
Yeah, I do this every 3 years. I go bald every 3 years. And then the whole top will grow really long, and I can just like braid it, and then I'll go bald again. The cycle.
Okay. Cool.
How long do you think it'll take you to grow the hair length that you want?
Probably a year and a half, 2 years.
Pretty quick.
And then I'll experiment with, but the thing is I'll experiment with hairstyles in between that, and that's why it'll take about 3 years before I go bald again.
I had long hair because I was lazy. I said I had long hair because I was lazy. I just didn't want to get a haircut. So for like 5 years, I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Someone was like, Mercedes, you went bald. They said that it's a representation of my MAGA past. They're like, what's going on? And I said, do you read into things too much, or what's wrong with you?
I'm not going to hate, but I won't lie. The bald head and the flag background and the scarf, I was like, okay, Mercedes, what's going on?
I mean, I don't myself, so.
I kid.
Do I look like a Republican?
It looks a little like Joe Rogan.
You
Like
what?
It looks like it's set for the Joe Rogan experience.
Joanne Rogan
He had
over
a
there.
flag before, and he does shave his head. And we are looking for the Rogan for the left, so.
That's crazy.
I have volunteered multiple times. I brought this up. I said part of the whole reason why I got canceled was purposely, like, put myself in a position to get canceled, was because I said I need to be free to be able to speak my goddamn mind, because we need people on the side who can speak their goddamn mind. So I said, for sure. It's giving Florida man meets Marines. That's fucking vibey. I like that.
That is crazy.
Yeah. For sure.
You
never gave MAGA vibes. That's sweet. I'll take that as a compliment. Paranoid, do you want to talk? Oh, we have 3 requests up. So he shall not be named. I don't know if that sounds MAGA. It's Nairo. Okay. Let's see. Hi, are you MAGA?
I'm MAGA.
Cool. You didn't sound too sure about that.
Shoot. Well, I was getting so bored. I was getting sleepy. Sorry. Let me wake back up. How's it going?
It's doing great.
You guys sure you want to talk to me? Because I know Destiny's not up here, and he's kind of like probably the best debater out of the crew, and he doesn't stand a chance against me. So whatever though.
I don't think we have a problem talking to you, but I do think whatever background noise that you have is going to be more the problem. I don't know if it's an us problem as much as it is a you problem.
Yeah, no, it's never a me problem. Trust me.
Well, no, it really is right now. So
Yes, that's what we're hearing. So that wasn't me who was making it anyways, I swear. It's not a me problem.
All right, is it better now? Mic check. My bad. So how's it going? What do you guys want to talk about? Let's talk about the big, beautiful bill. Shall we?
Sure.
Shall.
Okay. Why do you guys like it so much?
Why do we like it?
Yeah, I just steel manned your argument. It was a joke.
Tunnel.
No. How does it sound now?
Are you outside? Do you live in like Kansas or something?
Yes, no, I live in San Diego. I'm out here touching grass. Hang on. Let me just sit in my
There's
vehicle.
a lot of grass in Kansas. I'd argue there's quite a bit of grass.
Not really.
I think they have the open plains. I think they literally have the open plains National Park out there.
They have like little house on the prairie out there.
I feel like
just give me like 30
grass.
seconds. 30 seconds.
I really think he thinks we're MAGA, if I'm not mistaken. Because
dude, it's a joke. I'm just giving you a hard time. Of course I know you're Democrats.
I said that because your profile said you was a father of a Democrat, so I don't know what that means. But
yeah, it means I'm a father of kids and Democrats. I need to hold Democrats' hands. And like,
someone in the comment section said there's no place like home, like he's in a tornado.
Okay.
Dorothy entered the chat. Okay, he said, "Hold on, I gotta exit out the tornado real quick."
Should we move on until he's not like outside?
I'm here. Chill.
When the tornado stops, please request back up. Let us know that you're back in Kansas. Okay.
That's interesting. He said chill, as if we were like freaking out.
Calm down. Calm down, woman, okay?
That's on like a 2800 broadband modem for AOL Hometown, and we're supposed to be mad.
So fun. Do we have, you're in your car? I mean, is it a convertible? What is it? Do we have MAGA who aren't experiencing a hurricane right now?
He can't even be on TikTok if he's in his car driving.
That's true. That's very true.
Bicycle.
He's riding his bike. Really fast. He's just like, I swear I can debate. What do you want to talk about? Dude, I'm parked. Okay, he parked his car for us. We might want to bring him back up. Do you want to come back up?
Yeah, I guess so.
If anyone sends me gifts to pay for a haircut, I will send you. I don't know if I can say that on here. I got bananaed last time.
What are you gonna send them?
I'll send FOOT pics.
No, we got a guest violation warning.
Oh no!
By Anne.
I didn't even.
What happened?
I'm not gonna ask somebody to repeat it, but I totally missed it. This TikTok is too much.
She literally spelled it out. She spelled it out and so.
Oh man.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. Sorry, Anne. How was that HAT speech? Okay. I just hear the Titanic music.
Oh man,
That's fine.
If it catches bad as hate speech, like I'm screwed.
Yeah, I think it was just funny because she prefaced it with, "Yeah, I got kicked off for this before, so I'm just gonna spell it." Sorry, Anne. Like, and she knew too, and she tried avoiding it. That's funny. Okay, do we have?
Video I posted for the UFA. It got took down for unauthorized audio. Fixed that. Then it said hate speech, and I was like, what? And then I got a community guidelines violation for it. I don't get it. So.
He shall not be named. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, did he request? He's saying he ready.
Okay, we're gonna accept him. He's probably here. Oh, we can get you up now that we have more room. We can get Amy up here as well. Amy's on the tour as well. Everyone say hi to Amy.
What's
Hi,
good,
Amy.
Amy.
Hi.
Hello. How do I turn my camera on? I don't know how to use TikTok.
You can't use your camera anyway now. If you don't use TikTok,
why not?
Because you need like a certain amount of followers, I think. And if she doesn't use TikTok like that,
Oh wait, it just asked me.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Oh, look at that.
Hey.
Let me shut up.
Hey.
Let me shut up.
Okay, he shall not be named. It sounds like you're not in a tornado. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
What the heck?
Am I in a tornado?
It sounded like he just. Okay.
Let me do this. Is that better?
I think so.
Yeah. We're not sure yet. I don't think we have enough data collected yet, so let's keep talking and see if it goes.
It just sounded
So
like
you parked. Were you driving before while you were talking on a phone?
No. Remember I said I was walking
You said you're
around the
parked.
circle at a park? Guys, this guy's going to have a hard time listening, I can tell.
So what do you?
Hey, I listened through the Wind Tunnel album. Don't worry.
All right, then why would I be in a wind? Oh my God, never mind. But let's just move on.
You were.
I was walking around the park. It was windy.
Hey, thanks.
So what did Jeez want to say about the big beautiful bill?
Oh, it's
shall not be named or
even
whatever your name
bigger.
is.
Yeah, it's even bigger and more beautiful than I thought. It's gonna fund a lot of great things. It's gonna cut waste, fraud, and abuse. It's gonna cut the taxes. And if you say for the top 20%, I'm gonna get triggered.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Top 20%. Top 20%.
Top 20%.
So
Are
wait,
you scared? Are you triggered?
Why do you think that is, though? Is it wait, could it be because they pay most of the taxes? What percentage of the taxes do the top 20% pay?
I have to Google it.
Oh my God.
It's like
Guys,
the top
someone get Destiny up here.
1%.
Wait, don't say "Oh my God." Answer the question.
I mean, I'm guessing, but they pay a lot. I'm sure. Probably, I would say probably like 75.
Wait, did he ask a question he doesn't even know the answer to?
No, my claim was that the majority of the.
They asked him what's the percentage of the top. What is the percent that they pay? He said, "Oh my God, get Destiny in here," and then didn't even know the answer. What the?
Yeah, he asked a question he didn't know the answer to.
Right, I didn't. I never made the claim that I knew
like
the answer.
a whopping
You asked a question.
$700 a year.
No, right. That a question would be based off the fact that you might not know the answer. Like what? Why would you ask a question?
Why ask a question that you don't know the answer to?
You asked.
So I could.
So why do you ask questions?
Could I have? Well, because this is a debate, and I don't think it's because you genuinely want to like get the question answered, but you want to use it to be able to like further your talking point, which of course that's what debates are. But essentially, you're asking a question that you don't know the answer to. So I could have literally said any number, and you would have been like,
Well, I was
How are you supposed
steel
to?
manning your argument.
How are you supposed to fact?
Well, because I knew you didn't know the answer, right? I was steel manning your argument for you. I was just proving that you guys don't even know your own
Okay,
argument.
guys, when he asks questions from here on out, I want you guys to give some of the most ridiculous numbers. Okay, say like 150,000. Just
So-
like give random numbers.
Can I? Is it okay?
Wait, your argument.
Can we just like
your
one
argument
person at a time, or
Your
what's
argument
that
is
going?
Another
that
question?
you think that rich people deserve to pay less, get more tax breaks because they pay more money in taxes than other people.
They
right?
Well, if it depends on what tax bracket you're in. Yeah, absolutely. Like what?
But that's just math. That's not like oppression.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. Why is it wrong?
Well, they just pay more in taxes because they make more money.
Okay. Oh, they make more money, so let's take more of their money.
Well, what they need to survive is disproportionate to people that don't make that much money.
Okay, how much money do you need to survive then? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to.
$3 a year would probably be great for most people.
Okay, see, so someone that made like 50 grand a year would say you're selfish, and that's ridiculous.
Well, no.
So
because
anyone
if you tax,
making
if you
over
tax,
$500,000 a year gets a
if
tax
you tax
cut.
those people at the top, you'll be able to support the people making $50,000 with social programs. Because that's what that
My friend, you are taxing them more.
Not enough.
Well, how much do you want? Like,
Wait,
you want to take all their money or what?
You saying more? Yes, by dollar amount, but not by percentage.
Right.
It's
well, not with the tax cuts, no.
So
billionaires at 90%, just like the Eisenhower era.
Like, and by the way, what do you mean?
Make $1 billion, 90% wind tunnel.
And by the way, what do you mean by like percentage? Because if you're so the tax cuts decrease the percentage of taxes that they have to pay,
I want
but they still
90% of their
disproportionately pay more.
salary.
that's what I.
90% of Tesla.
Hello.
Okay, freaking Dog the Bounty Hunter, chill, bro.
Oh,
So
cricket
move on with your point. Move on with your point.
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
more-
I think it's a good thing. I think it's good to cut corporate taxes, or if you make over a certain percentage and you pay more in taxes, they ought to be cut. And what that's going to do is that's going to put more money back in their pocket. I know you're going to say, yeah, they're going to spend it on their CEOs or stock buybacks, but actually that's not. I mean, they will, maybe they have the right to do that, but they also hire more people. They expand their businesses.
Wait, what incentive would they have to hire more people? Wait, there's no incentive for that. And why are you saying that like this hasn't been tried and proven to not work though?
So wait, how does a company grow if not the incentive to like have it and pay their employees more or hire more employees?
Okay, well, hold on.
Because there's more spending.
Sorry, go ahead, Logic.
No, that was it. It's just that simple. They have to spend more.
They have to spend more. Yeah, no kidding, because they can spend more because they're getting tax breaks, and that's a good thing.
Listen, so like, let's say, for instance, the corporation that I work for, right? The CEO's salary doesn't go to hire more people. The company net profit, right? They don't take that. So like the tax percentage that CEO is paying has no bearing on how many people we hire.
It's a romantic notion.
Okay, but wait. So what is your company going to do with the tax cuts?
Wait.
No, the tax cuts, like for instance, CEO. Let's say he makes $1 billion a year, right?
No, it's wait. Hang on. That's not the question I asked. I said, what is your company going to do with the tax cuts? Let's say, how much does your company gross yearly?
Say again.
How much your company gross annually?
I don't know actually. We're based out of the Netherlands,
Okay, so then how do you know how much the CEO gets paid?
I'm not. I'm giving an analogy. I'm saying like the CEO's salary with that tax cut, so that's his salary. That's his take from what the company makes. Okay?
Bro, the CEO's pay has nothing to do with the tax cuts.
That absolutely does. That's exactly
How so?
what it is.
How does that work?
The tax cuts, okay.
What is that noise?
I don't know. I think Mercedes was making a drink.
Oh,
I am putting that pepper
Chicken,
all
but
over
not
that
stirred.
chicken, okay? I am peppering that chicken. I am eating chicken and rice over
It's
here.
that ground pepper.
Yeah, it is. It's that good.
Anyway, go ahead, Joe. So yeah, you're so. I guess my only point. I guess I don't see where we're going with this because you don't know how much a CEO makes. You don't know how much a company makes, and you're definitely not going to know what they're going to do with those tax cuts.
Again, I'm trying to make the distinction that the profits that the company makes, right, that goes to hiring more. Okay? The CEO doesn't take that.
Okay, so if they get a tax cut, that is going to increase their profit. Go ahead.
Hold on. I'm saying the CEO's salary. Okay, so let's say he makes $1 billion a year. That tax cut goes to him. Okay, in this instance, and I'm saying like that, his salary is not going to fund anything in the company.
Wait, what do you mean the tax cut goes to? Hang on. What do you mean the tax cut goes to him?
Okay, so like if there's a tax cut for the top 1% of people, so I'm saying if you make $1 billion a year. Okay?
No, that's not. You don't have that right. So your CEO hang on. The CEO works for the company that gets the tax cut, right? He has nothing to do with the tax cuts. Now, they can take that chunk of change that they're going to make from not having to pay that additional tax and pay him more, right? Or they can pay the other. And essentially, a CEO is an employee of the company as well. So all you're doing is really just proving my point.
But I truly don't. Go ahead.
Okay, your paychecks, right? Let's say you get a tax cut. Are you going to invest that back in the company you work for?
I mean, yeah, because it depends on how you. It depends on how you. Wait, hang on. It depends on how you consider like an investment, like monetarily, because you can invest your time into something which equals money. So essentially, if I'm getting paid more, wait, hang on. If I'm getting paid more, I'm going to increase my output. I'm going to want to stay there. I'm going to, maybe like treat the customers better, or whatever it may be, right? So that investment could directly impact and also help the company, right?
What I'm saying is direct money. I mean, your argument is you're trying to say if that CEO or whatever has money in his pocket, he's going to invest that into his company.
That's not what I'm saying. No, of course not. No, that's silly. No, that doesn't happen. But I mean, yeah, again, I don't see a point you're making. It's kind of, we're just getting circular here at this point. The tax cuts, and if you can sit here and prove to me that they only go to stock buybacks and only giving CEOs bigger, yearly salaries or checks or bonuses, then you can certainly try to prove that. But I doubt you could. So anyway, you want to move on to the next point?
I'm trying to understand. I don't get why you feel like Reaganomics was going to work in 2024 when it didn't work back then. Like, I don't. Where's this idea that if the rich people get more tax cuts or more money, they're going to just spend it on their company or their people. Right. They're going to give them more money. They're going to expand. Right. Like who? Where is this?
It's the rich. So this argument you're making is a red herring. You're like, the rich people, they're going to get more money and they're going to just hoard it. That's just a red herring.
How's that a red herring? And that's completely what you just said.
Right, because that's not what I just said. Absolutely not. You said that, not me. I said they could get an increase in their paychecks, not necessarily hoard it. Right? And I'm not using it as a boogeyman.
Wait, I didn't say hoard it. I said give them more money through tax cuts. I didn't say what they necessarily do with it. I said where's this idea that you think they're going to spend it on their company or pay their employees more or try to expand to gain more jobs. That's what I said.
So do you think a company thrives more if they give their employees an increase in wages or if they just keep them the same and they remain stagnant?
Say that again?
I said, do you think a company thrives more if they increase the wages to their employees or their wages remain stagnant? Which one is going to create a better lifestyle, a better culture, and more expansion in the company?
I mean, it depends on the profitability of the company and what their end goal is and what their goal is.
That's just dodging the question.
No,
that's not what they're doing though. They're not giving raises.
Hang on, that's okay. Wait, this is based off of what he just said, right? So he's saying, and correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that you said if paying your employees doesn't necessarily make a company grow. And then I asked you, well, is it more likely that a company would grow if they give their employees more wages or grow or thrive, or however you want to phrase it, if they give more wages or if their wages remain stagnant as inflation grows and maybe there's an employee that has a better offer, so on and so forth?
Well, that's why
right? Of course not. It's a simple answer, right? No, it's more likely that the company that's going to increase their employees' wages is going to be the more thriving, better cultural company, right? Or they're going to lose their employees, or they're not going to have very good morale.
Yeah, but you're pretending that doesn't happen regardless if they get a tax cut. Like most companies, especially if you're working somewhere full time, you're getting annual raises or you're getting promotions. Like this isn't a byproduct of simply giving them tax cuts. Because it's not like today. It's not like where you're making 15 now, and then after the tax cuts get implemented in a year, they're going to be that same employee is going to be making about $18 an hour. Like that's not what's going to happen. They're simply going to still going along with inflation year to year is still going to just be a small incremental pay increase. They're not just going to dump money to their employees because they have it. They still want to increase
Wait,
their
so
profit
you're saying
margins.
you're saying employees are already giving their people raises and bonuses, right? And so if they're doing that already, therefore they're making more money on the back end through maybe tax cuts, then why wouldn't that incentivize them to even continue doing it and maybe even increase that amount?
Because they don't have to. they still want to expand their profit margins.
Wait, they don't have to give them raises yearly
Just like
either.
this-
Like you're saying that they do that, right? Which would then which would then also mean that they're obviously good employers if they're continuously giving their people raises. That means they care about their employees. So when they get a tax cut, a large one, and they would likely divvy that out to the employees. I mean, based off of that, you know, the type of company that would be, or you know, the setup of the pay structure, whatever it may be.
Here's a stat, I guess. In 2018, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, corporations spent a record $1 trillion on stock buybacks instead of boosting wages.
Mm-hmm.
So there's evidence of the fact that that is a constant thing that they do. That's always how they spend their money.
Right. So if they're buying back stocks, right, they're hedging their bets with their investors, right, which is then going to strengthen their company, and their company's strong. That's also going to set them up for larger bonuses, better pay structures, expansion, advertising, marketing, right? Like
Wages don't go up.
Wait, Logix just said wages go up. So which is Logix wrong or are you right?
I think C-Max is saying that the wages have not been sorry, I shouldn't be talking. My mouth is
no,
never mind.
It's okay. So yeah, they're not boosting wages with the tax cuts that they are getting, in any way that's recognizable for it to make a difference. Are they giving them small percentage raises based on the minimum that they can to keep up with either inflation or whatever it might be? Possibly. But they're not giving them anywhere close to the types of tax breaks and benefits that they're getting at the top.
Wait, how do you know
That's the
that?
difference.
How do you know that?
Because there's information you can find online to show this.
Oh, there's information. Okay, so next time ask me how I know something, I'm just going to tell you, well, there's information online you can.
Well, I'm looking it
You
up.
asked me, you didn't even know the
I'm
answer
looking it
to.
up for you.
Quick question though: Is it fair to ask these people? And I'm asking the panel. Is it fair to ask these people that because obviously when people fall into a certain tax bracket, I totally get why they snip really hard. I understand that. But is it fair to ask these people how much money they make before engaging into these conversations? Just to I really want to get a clear.
Yeah, sure. You tell me how much you make, and I'll tell you how much I make.
I'm not the one defending billionaires.
Neither am I. You're just what you're doing is creating a red herring, blaming the billionaires. I'm just going after that argument.
He watched one video on red herrings
Man, no offense, you don't know what red herrings are, so please don't.
What is it? The YouTube videos, the logical fallacy YouTube videos.
Oh, the logical. Oh my goodness.
He said, "I'm gonna watch a 20-minute logical fallacy video so that anytime you say anything, it can be like red herring."
No, I just know what a red herring argument is. You guys have used it like 4 or 5 times. I mean, that's not a me problem.
This isn't a red herring. I just don't know.
What is the definition of a red herring, guys?
Yes, you want me to tell you, or somebody else want to explain it?
Go ahead. We want you to.
Sure. It's when we're talking about the tax cuts, right? And you're using.
No. What is the definition of red herring?
I mean, I'll just give you my definition. Is that okay? Sure. Okay, calm down. You guys gotta let me answer. Chill.
That's what I'm saying. You keep doing this thing where you asked a question earlier that you didn't even know the answer to your own question. Now you're saying red herring. You do this thing. You said you're steel manning. Maybe your lack of definition and just throwing red herring out there, is that another form of you steel manning?
Wait, are you saying I was throwing red herrings out there? And also, can I answer the question for red herring? So what a red herring is? What a red herring is? What a red herring is?
He had Google. He had time to Google this.
I'm sitting here on my phone. I have one. I would have to scroll out. Well, I would have to scroll out. You'd see me teacup.
I'm eating chicken. You're the one.
Holy cow. Okay, so a red herring is when we're talking about the tax cuts, right? And you're honing in on this one idea,
what is the definition?
trying to make.
Instead of an example, can you actually give me a definition?
Sure, a red herring is a fallacy used to, yes, sure, a red herring is a fallacy used to create doubt and, integrity on the argument based off of which argument you're making.
I don't think you even understand these logical fallacies enough to be throwing them out there like this.
I doubt it.
I doubt it, given off your definition you just gave us. I'm sorry that we had to ask you what that meant. Amy.
Yeah, I know
Actually, it's
Amy's
Robbie. It's Robbie. It's Storm the Applebee's man.
That's not a red herring.
Oh my gosh, you're so clever. You're so clever. Ooh. Anyway, we carry on, or you guys want to get hung up on red herring? And the fact that I know more big words than you.
Well, you're hung up on red herring.
Yeah.
Well, you guys keep making the rich, billionaires red boogeyman. Like,
no, you can't come up here and make these claims.
No.
You come up here and you make these claims. Yeah, well. You come up here and you make these claims, and then you start throwing these like words around, and then we ask you like, what's the definition of these words? And you're like, oh, and then you're like, taxes. And I'm like, okay, you're trying to give an example. I understand that through your text.
I'm so lost how we're
that's exactly not what happened. I mean, you did a good job of it, but
that's exactly what we saw.
And sometimes when I speak, sometimes I stutter. I'm human just like you, right? But I make far less mistakes.
It's definitely not the stutter that's the problem. It's the very obvious lack of knowing what the definition was, skirting what the definition was multiple times, because you had to think on it heavily and then still not being
I gave you a definition. You would have to tell me what was wrong with it to prove that point.
Because a red herring is something to divert the conversation away from the actual topic, which is not what's happening.
Billionaires.
If you're talking, you came in saying that the tax cuts are good because the CEOs of corporations and the people that make the most money is then going to have it trickle down to the people below, and we're telling you why that may not be such a good idea. What's the red herring? Please
I didn't say trickle down at all. Yes, the red herring is when you blame billionaires for everything. It's when you say they're only going to spend money on
the
their
fact that you're using it again. The fact that you're
ridiculous.
Constantly using red herring and it's just.
You're the ones that can't drop it.
I told you.
You can't move on from this argument.
He watched one YouTube video about logical fallacies and said, "Bro, I'm prepped."
I know you already said that already. I know you already said that already. Okay, move on.
Just need another.
Would you?
We got it.
Check the YouTube.
Careful with that spatula.
It's almost as if you came in here and you were like, "Yeah, I like the fact that I don't know he's taking." No, I can't say that. God, I don't like TikTok. Oh, I cannot say what I was gonna say. So what's another?
You guys are really bad at this. You guys are really bad at this.
You are too, buddy. Join the club.
I'm a lot better than you.
I'm trying to give you an example of a red herring.
Oh boy.
I'm a lot better.
Can you change your TikTok name to Red Herring?
Maybe. Well, I gave you my definition of red herring, which diverts the argument according to logic.
No,
therefore being correct because you agreed with them. Thank you.
He did my definition.
I gave you the definition, and I told you
guys
why
are diverting
it was incorrect.
using billionaires.
Right.
I'm just trying to make an argument saying that it's going to help everybody. Like what?
But we're telling you why we don't think it's going to help everybody. That's not diverting away. What are you talking about?
Right, because you asked me why I simp for billionaires.
Okay, your red herring is that you keep talking about the fucking billionaires. There's a whole lot more in this big beautiful bill than just tax cuts for billionaires.
That doesn't make any sense.
What?
That's not how it went. That's not how it went.
Yeah. He's not saying.
You guys are hilarious, dude. You guys are going to get cooked. You guys are going to get so cooked. Holy cow. Let me guys, in order to have a good conversation, like we have to have it back and forth with just like one person. We're not getting anywhere. This is absolutely ridiculous.
We've already exited.
All right, let's talk about tariffs. We can talk about the border. We can talk about other parts of the big beautiful bill. I mean, obviously, you guys, you're struggling with this one, so we can just move on if you'd like, or we can keep talking about it. But can I talk to one person because this is just ridiculous?
He's entered the circus and he's like ready. He's like ready for us to go like full blown debate mode on him, and we're just fucking around.
He doesn't understand what the fuck.
He's really triggered. I hope you know this tour is more than just debate bros. We are debate bros. We are.
Mercedes, you use that tactic constantly. It's like you're like this. I'm like this is.
The debate bro
I'm
tactic
too cool
or which
for this.
tactic?
You're like guys. This is so funny. This guy doesn't even know. We're just like having a debate.
You're like.
We've watched you, Mercedes. You can't debate. We've watched you. You can't debate. Just stop.
I got a question.
At this point, you guys are just using ad hominem.
I got a question.
Lord.
Do you know what that is?
Yes, we do, and I don't think anyone. I don't think I've called.
That's all you're just going after the way I talk. You're just going after like the.
No, it's
like,
not the way. No, it's
what you're trying to do is. Go ahead.
Asking you to define a word that you yourself keep stating is not an ad hominem, and again, it just like this is what I don't understand.
Are you talking about ad hominem, or are you talking about red herring?
And also top 20%.
You just said that we keep throwing ad homs out there, and I just said.
Yeah, you've been doing that like the whole time. That's all you can do.
You said that we were making fun of your speech, but no one's making fun of your speech, my guy. We're making fun of the fact
I know, I
that
have really good
you to
speech.
ask questions that
very
you do
articulate,
not.
very well spoken.
You are a self-proclaimed stutterer. You're a self-proclaimed stutterer.
Bro learned a new word today.
What is Mercedes eating now?
Is Bugo Condom?
Okay.
I got a question.
I think just a little and Logics can have this debate. Everybody else should just Utsies.
For sure, top 20% red herring ad hom over here, sitting in a park, celebrating the big beautiful bill that just gave every ICE member a $42,000 raise. That's how you're spending your afternoon. You're at a park. You're celebrating. You're talking.
Why are you so
about
close to the
things
camera?
You don't understand, like red herring, and that's your life today. So okay, keep going.
Wow, bro, you had your moment of fame. Just back up from the camera a little bit. Chill.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Who was I?
Holy
Marjorie
shit.
Taylor Greene? What? No, I'm
Bro's
sorry.
in his house wearing sunglasses and a hat. Like, what are you doing? You're inside. You're wearing a thick ass jacket too.
I'm living the dream.
Yeah, I bet you. Oh wait. So you admit that America is like living in a dream? Awesome, bro. I agree, man.
I'm living my dream, man. I am America, dude.
Okay, well then you should be thankful for the president that's making it that way for you, bud.
Well, I'm not a bootlicker. I've made my own dream because America is the home of people coming here to make dreams, not just billionaires with a bunch of cheat codes. People going from nothing to something.
Not just billions. There's no billionaires that have gone from nothing to something.
Not Trump, dude.
Oh, now it's about Trump. Okay, we talk about that too.
Oh, we should talk about.
I'd love to talk about that. Dude just walks into his own points. You're not good. Oh my God, never mind. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Keep going.
We can't talk about billionaires. We can't talk about the problem. If we can't talk about bootlicking a felon known as Trump, what are we going to talk about then, red herring?
Bootlicking is not like a specific person. It's about like being under the foot of the government and liking it.
So are you excited about ICE getting those $42,000 raises? You didn't even answer that.
Well, okay, what are you talking about? ICE getting their $42,000 raises? What's wrong with that?
You're not ready for this.
You don't like officers who protect our country to get raises?
So are you excited they're getting a $42,000 raise? That's all I'm asking.
40? Like, what do you mean? Individually?
Each ICE member. Are you excited they're getting
No, that's not true. You're going to have to prove that. I have not heard of that.
It's just like the top 20% we're making,
Show me that source. Someone, look, if you show me the source, I haven't heard it, so if you want to show me the source. That sounds ridiculous. No one gets a $42,000 raise in the government. That's not how it works.
And they're not going to get $42,000. So what's the raise
whatever
they're
your
getting?
name is?
What's up?
Tell me
sorry,
what the
Amy, go ahead.
raise is then.
I'm not the one making the claim. Go ahead, Amy.
They currently get $8 million, and they're going to get $40 million.
They currently get okay. So you're talking about the entity as a whole.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Robbie, does that equal 42,000 each?
I don't know. I already asked my question. You didn't answer it. I'm not answering yours.
Man. Anyway, actually, Amy seems pretty chill.
For 40 minutes, taking up all this valuable time.
This dude is hung up on the part.
20
My God,
minutes
bro.
to look up red herring. You killed.
All right, Amy, let's have a discussion. You seem reasonable. Like you seem like I could talk to you. So, like, what's your
Wait, hold on. I want to clarify.
What do you like? What do you like about the big beautiful bill?
Wait. Corey wants to verify.
It's a $20,000 signing bonus, a one-time bonus, a $10,000 annual bonus, and a $15,000 retention, which is $45,000
per person.
Thank you, Corey.
Per person.
And he never.
What source is that?
I will get you the.
So I was around 42,000. If this was Price is Right, I would have won the Showcase Showdown, and you're still sitting in a park.
Well, you got to be right about something every now and again.
Yeah, well, I won then, dude. Go away.
Dude, it's not about winning, brother.
Yes,
Calm down.
it is, dude. I'm up
Brother.
1-0 on you, dude.
Dude, you're wearing a hat and your sunglasses and a thick ass jacket.
I feel like you're no.
You might want to get out of your house and actually go to a park and touch grass. That might be something you might want to consider.
I don't touch grass, Stoner. That's why I won.
What? Tell me you do that stuff without telling me.
I'm not even giving you a rematch.
Oh my god, yeah, thank you. You won. Just mute.
1-0,
just chill.
brother.
It's in the bill. I can send you the link to the bill, but you can find
just show it on your
rules.house.gov.
Put them on the big screen. Just show it what you're looking at.
I'm just trolling at this point.
Or just
guys.
read it again. I mean, I guess I believe that too.
I'm just here to troll. So if anyone, just know that. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, we know that. We can tell.
No shit. I've only said it in the group chat like 5 times now.
Oh my gosh, you're so smart.
I said I was trolling. I didn't say I was smart.
No, I know you're not. I mean, you are. I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time. Anyway, Amy, I think we can have, guys. I know I'm loose. I'm chill. Good. You guys are chill. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, you take life too seriously. Like we're all over here just over here. Like,
nobody. I don't take life. I'm the most chill person here. You kidding me?
Ad hominem. Red herring, 911.
Well, I thought this was like a back and forth. I give you that. That was pretty damn windy. Bro thought I was like driving with my freaking top down.
It is what it sounded like. Yeah, we thought you were, what was it, driving while distracted? The DWD.
You can't say that. You'll get. No, I'm just kidding.
I think
only if Anne's up here.
I don't know if that is that a real thing? Is it?
No. So here, let's talk about something.
Your state, 33 states.
I always bring up like what happened with
DWDs.
Well, you can't touch your phone.
Wait, but is that what they call it though? Like a driving while distracted?
Yeah, kind of.
That'd be funny.
When's your guys' tour anyway? When's that happening?
We're on
Tampa.
tour now.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
July 12th.
July 12th.
He said, when's the tour? And I said, Tampa. Yeah, for sure. We're going to have a really good time. We're going to storm the Applebee's. We're going to troll Sass. We have those who like to debate. Because, I mean, this tour is not just debate bros. Like, we're a group of people who do. I plan on passing out ham and cheese sandwiches, bro. Like, fucking lemonade packets in the water bottles, brown bag, paper sacks, save the planet,
Community.
dude.
That's what's up. up.
I'm gonna be passing
most likely you're not gonna really run into people that are hardcore debaters. And honestly, like a debate, none of what anybody does on TikTok is a debate anyway.
Tell that to Charlie Kirk.
I like to think of it back and forth.
We're going we're gonna debate Myron Gaines, and then he's got a buddy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you see that one video of him with that one dude that threw his drink on him? That was pretty sick.
Wait, are you saying you don't like Myron Gaines?
No, I don't like Myron Gaines. I can't stand Andrew Wilson either. That one video of him and Andrew Tate. No, the one where he tried to open the olive jar with those tiny little weak hands of his. Oh my! The one thing I was like, dude, not only are you gonna try to disrespect a woman like that, but then you can't do it yourself. It's just like. It's just like, oh my god! And he sits in his dark room smoking cigarettes. It's just rah.
Right. The only thing I've ever seen Andrew Wilson do that I thought was funny. I mean, I've watched a lot of this guy's content simply because I'm watching people debate him, right? So he just happens to be in the spaces, whether right or left, he's gonna pop up there, okay? So I watch a lot of people debate him. The only thing he's ever done that I was actually laughed at was there was a panel. It was him, Parker. What's his face? Piers Morgan, and they're having a debate about gatekeeping slurs or something. And then Andrew Wilson, Parker did this, and then Andrew Wilson was at him back. I don't know if you've seen the clip, but it was hilarious.
I saw that clip. It was pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Parker and Dean can debate with a shit either. So you guys are top tier compared to them.
I just don't think we're so serious. Even Destiny, I love him because he'll if he were to finish a debate with you, he'd end it with saying okay, bye, love you.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, I came up hot. I do get sort of worked up, so I totally get it.
So, yeah, I cannot blame you for coming up hot if you frequented these liberal debate TikTok spaces. I can't blame you.
They get. Trust me, you guys are. People come at me like you would not believe. It's wild.
They go psycho at me.
Yeah, I know. I've watched the whole thing unfold.
Oh yeah, they think I'm a fucking Yahtzee, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. Well, I mean, on that note, it was nice chatting with y'all. Good luck out there. Be safe. Stay hydrated and all that fun stuff.
Much love.
Okay, well, I mean,
Lots of sunscreen. Lots of sunscreen. Stop the cap. I have one thing to say.
I could have told you that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen.
All right, I'll give him props for that.
So can we talk about the fact that fucking Russell Brand's going to be there?
Russell Brand is going to get with these people.
For Charlie Kirk's student action thing?
He used to be so liberal.
I just can't. I just can't. Like they said.
That's not what a
yeah,
money
you can.
is.
Yeah, they said man with. Isn't he going through like a grape case right now or something? Like, isn't he? Is that the Russell?
I think you're right. I think you're right. SA.
Did it get dropped or is he still going through it?
I don't know what happened with
He's
that.
gonna be my favorite. And Riley Gaines. Oh my God, I'm going for her.
Oh, I just looked at the list today. I didn't see Russell, but I saw Riley.
Yeah, Russell's on there. He used to be my heartthrob. I'm like so sad.
I'm so done. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be an interesting lineup. The thing that I'm most jealous about when it comes to conservatives is the fact that we watched Tucker Carlson take an anti-Israel stance. We watched Charlie Kirk take a pro-Israel stance. And now they both will be together. It's Charlie Kirk's event. He has asked Tucker to speak at his event. They're working together in unison to further the right-wing agenda.
This is
and I'm
true.
like, God fucking damn. These are two people who took opposite, very volatile stances against one another, and they can work together. They can go work together, and we can sneeze in the wrong direction on this side, and all of a sudden, anyone, you're ostracized. They said, no, we're not. Sorry.
Yep.
That's crazy to me. That's so crazy to me.
Well, I've had conversations with conservatives that, like I know CFH was trying to do the same thing, and I was talking to this guy offline, and he was trying to get me to come to his side and how unified they are and stuff, and it's just funny. Because, to be honest, I've gotten called a Yahtzee, some other things from, the hyper-left purity test crap, and it's just oh, man.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it so much. It actually is one of the banes of my existence because I look at it and I think to myself, the right can work together through all of that. And you can do one thing wrong over here and all of a sudden it turns into a cancellation party. And it's
is a good dude. Sorry, I had to respond to that.
Oh yeah, Gen X Pop. We love CFH on this panel.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the right's full of pedophiles and rapists. Just playing.
Yeah. Well, it is. It is true that the minute these people catch charges, they automatically go on to their Christian conservative redemption arc, and it's okay. That we all saw that coming the minute the charges were announced. For sure did. Because there's always going to be family over there for them. And I had people, because I was an ex-conservative influencer, so I was in rooms with these people, and I had people reaching out to me during the UFA tour, and they're like, see, Mercedes, these people are evil. See, Mercedes, are you going to come back? At least you had community over here. We'll never abandon you. Come back. And I'm like, oh my God, stop. Holy shit. One, I'm not going to go back over there. Two, they do know. They are self-aware that they have community unmatched. And they are also aware that we do not have that over here. And they are in the inboxes of any creator who is actively getting canceled or actively getting dragged across the internet. They're waiting like cockroaches to be able to be like, hi, do you want to be a conservative now? And I'm just like, what the fuck, bro? It's crazy.
Yeah.
But we got to stop that. We got to stop that from happening. It's really sad.
It's I see all these posts that Democrats are the party of hate, and I'm just like, say what now? I just can't comprehend it sometimes.
Yeah, I can comprehend it, but I think it's to our own. We pretend to have a very strong sense of acceptance, and then we just dump it down the shitter when it comes to our own people. I'm not.
I think even with that, it doesn't come across as hate. I would classify even that more so like disappointment. You know, like even though I don't agree with it whatsoever, of course, but to me that feels more like you know, your little cousin just like stole a car. It's like, how could you do that? You know, but MAGA, it's like, you don't agree with me. Like I don't care about you. You need to leave my country. I don't care what you're going through, no matter what.
Yeah.
You don't need to be around here. Like I don't get it.
Yeah. If you don't like it, leave. I get that comment daily.
Yeah. Leave America.
Yeah,
Why are you here if you don't like it?
Yeah, and it's wild. To see that the phrase switch, there's a phenomena that happens that I've noticed. When the right is in power, the left turns into preppers who are ready to leave, and when it's reversed, the right turns into like hardcore doomsday preppers. And then they will also simultaneously, not as bad, but I see a lot of them floating the idea of leaving as well. And I just look at each other, and my biggest issue is that we're thwarting our own progress because we cannot gather in bipartisanship to pass any policy that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We're too split. I mean, it's just fragmented now on the left.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And even like when it comes to the right, like I want to work together with the other half of this nation in order to do something substantial. But it's like right now, I have gotten to a point where I can get on camera and say I want to work with the right, and I know nothing's going to happen to me. But that has taken months, right? Because it's like what is sold is so volatile and so divided that if you try to step out of your box of division that you've been put in, no matter what side you are on, it's heavily discouraged.
Yeah, there's no room for free thinking. You know, there's no room for sort of the nuanced aspect of things, and that's the problem.
And what's interesting about that is Joe Biden, even before his presidency, he was known for reaching across the aisle. He was known for working with Republicans to pass legislation. And then he gets in office, and this is the worst. Think about that mindset. This is the worst president ever. Joe Biden tried to ruin his country. Well, he got a lot of stuff passed through Congress, right? Don't you need both? Yep. Don't you need Congress to make shit shake? You know what I'm saying? And he does that, and it's like, this is the worst president. How could he? Donald Trump doesn't get anything significant passed. President for 4 years, doesn't handle COVID well, and it's like, oh man, this country was so great with him. This level of delusion, I just don't know where the matrix shifted, and it's scary.
I mean, my family's that way. I don't even talk to half my family anymore because I just can't. You know? And like, I blame Fox News. I blame all the right wing nonsense.
Yeah.
You know, they sit there and pander this narrative that isn't even true, but they eat it up. They eat it up, you know, and I don't know.
They really sold the culture war. They sold a culture war that is so huge. And the thing about me the thing that really bothers me is the fact that the basis of everything that they're selling is like lies. Like, for how they garner support around their positions, they'll say things like they're all criminals, and they'll leave out the facts of actually know that crimes more than the average citizen. They'll say things like, oh, well, they're all welfare abusers. When I was looking up a statistic, and even though they make up, even though they make up 13% of the population, they own 21% of businesses, they're way less likely to get on welfare than the average American citizen. These are stats that you could look up, and it's like, why are we selling a lie in order to get people to gather around it? If there's a problem, let's sell them the truth. To me, the truth is the migration system is fucked. We do not have enough funding to fund judges so that we can get people processed faster. That is causing an uptick in border crossings. If we secured the border and accompanied that with new legislation that wasn't archaic, that actually made faster, more efficient systems, that's the solution we should be centering. But no, it just turns into they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. And I'm like, in order to never fix the problem so that you can keep running on the problem, that's my issue.
Yeah, I don't know what spaces you guys are usually in, but I if you haven't noticed, a lot of this is just masked with a lot of them believing in like the great replacement theory, and they're masking it in all this fear mongering. They're like, this is a white country. We want it to be white, but we can't say that. So we have to find every other reason under the book that we're grabbing random people from homes and houses and apartments and jobs and sending them back because we want to keep it white as possible. How is it that Biden and Obama managed to do all this deporting without violating anybody's rights? Please let me know. But now you're forcing it and still can't even match those numbers.
Yep. But they'll look at that and say, "Oh, well, Biden did this," and they'll just deflect to something else.
Obama
Like a red herring
deported
or
the most
something.
people.
Well, and I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't think Obama did handle it well the first time, because only 52% of Obama's deportees were criminals. The other half was either fresh over the border, so like recent crossings, or they were. I mean, there was a portion of them that were families, and he said to hell with due process during his first term, and he did get sued by the ACLU for it. No, he did. He got sued by the ACLU for it multiple times, and Democrats came in mass and protested him for this. And in his second term, that's when he fixed it, and he decided that he was going to listen to the people that protested him, and I think it jumped up to like 91% of all his deportees were criminals. So we went from 50 to 91 in his second term. So we saw him make improvements. We can all admit during that time, though, like, what is it? We just got, it's a little bit of a different time. I think Democrats back then are a little bit different than they are today. I think we are progressing. I just think that it comes down to the fact we've gotten to a point that Obama led a good path when it comes to saying, hey, this is how we should handle these deportations, focus on criminals. And that should have been carried over. And then instead, Donald Trump came in with executive orders pretending that we were under attack and going to war, you know. They never fixed anything. His executive orders by Biden's term, okay, COVID ended, so we couldn't continue to implement it because we didn't have an excuse to.
Right.
And no legislation was passed. And then we had Langford Bill pop up, and he said, no, thank you. So it's just a perpetuation of no solutions.
Yep.
Executive orders they're not a solution, and that's all Trump wants to run because he knows it makes him look good while he's in office because that was him, when in all actuality, these Republicans can't put two and two together and realize if he actually cared, he'd offer a long-term solution so he wouldn't have to keep running on this. If it's that big of a problem, why would you want to keep running on it? Fix it. You have the power. You have the and it's not a super majority, but you do have the majority. Obviously, if you pass something as unpopular as the big, beautiful bill, I guarantee you could pass funding for immigration reform. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
An alligator Alcatraz, like, Jesus. And Florida's selling merch for it. Like, I mean, like, what have we come to? And fucking Laura Looney Bin in her tweets that 65 million are going to be eaten by alligators. I mean, like, how is
What's crazy?
Yeah, they're
that
excited about it.
65 million is the total population
I know.
in the United States of, you know, not undocumented or legal.
Yes.
Yeah, just Hispanic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
11. I think it's 11. We have 11 million undocumented migrants here, and she said
less than
65%
are criminals.
She said 65 million.
And she said 65 million, and I'm thinking to myself, like, well, obviously you're not talking. Someone came to me and they're like, "Are you just assuming all immigrants are Hispanic? Is that why you're saying the Hispanic number?" Then I said, "No, I'm saying this because there's 11 million undocumented migrants here, and that's not the number she chose to use. She purposely chose to use 65 million, which represents 1/5 of the population, which just happens to be Hispanics. I don't know what else you're referencing, lady. You know, like, it's very
like,
obvious.
How is this okay?
But the Republicans do that. They won't. Sometimes they'll say things obfuscatedly so that they can, when it comes to scrutiny, they can kind of be like, well, that's not exactly what I said. It's the same thing that we saw that happen with the Salulu with Elon Musk. There's always an excuse as to why it wasn't what it was, or they didn't mean to say that, or that's not how it was supposed to be interpreted, or it's not what they were talking about. Psychotic. It's gaslighting.
She's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. The gaslighting from these people are insane.
And then her comments about what's an alligator's favorite food. Illegal alien child rapist. Oh my God. Girl.
Yeah.
We actually had a missed opportunity. I went to the veterans rally that was hosted by Christopher Goldsmith out in D.C. The hotel we were staying at, Laura Loomer came out of the elevator, and it didn't dawn on me at first. I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, oh, man, we could have trolled her. But
It's hard to tell because they all look the same. They're all botched up on Botox, and you don't even know like which one's which. I can't even. You could line up Chrissy Nome, Laura Loomer, Nancy. Maybe I'll recognize Nancy Mace, but the Trumps, any of the Trumps, the older Trump women, whoever they're married to, you can line them all up. And some of these influencers, and I could not tell you which one is which because it's the copy and paste machine. Botched Botox, migrated lip filler. And they're all, but all natural. God made you just the way he wanted to. You're perfect the way you are. But fucking for sure, dude. Modifications out the ass.
I had someone
Come on,
today
gender
tell
affirming
me.
care.
I had someone today tell me I'm a 64-year-old man with a nose ring. I'm like, okay, buddy.
oh.
So weird. Some people, they'll insult me too, and they'll be like, they'll try to say things like, it's funny, they'll say, you look like a guy, and I look at them and I'm like, I don't know if that was supposed to be an insult, I'm not sure. Or they'll be like, you're a woman, and I'm like, whoa, shit, dude. Crazy. Cool story, bro. I did not know that.
That's like today, my post was something about the bill and how we're all fucked. And they're like, oh, I bet it's the first time that's happened to you. And it's just like, how is this your clapback? Like, how? Like, do you have nothing further to clap back? It is always, you're a fat, ugly pig. You clearly don't get laid. And you're a fat, ugly pig. That's the most common one I get. And it's like, how? Like, how is this their clapback? That's their only clapback.
Where they live, and I'll take care of it. No, I'm just kidding.
But it's just like they're clearly incels too, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, it comes down to really understanding that it's a culture war that has been sold. These people are so worried about such a small portion of the population that they are actually okay with giving away like their own benefits as a middle class worker. Yeah. And when I try to talk to these people, like, I won't argue the trans stuff with them. I won't argue really anything when it comes to social stuff because I just chalk it up to Constitution, constitutionalist freedoms for everyone underneath this Constitution. I don't give a fuck if you are walking around with a halter on your face and you said I'm a goddamn horse. I love you. This is America. Party down, dude. Like Robbie Roadstreamer doing his stuff. Party down, dude. I think people should be able to do the things that they do if it's not harming themselves simply or harming others. I don't care if they harm themselves. If you want to drink alcohol, we don't shut down liquor stores. You know what I mean? And I'm a participant. Yeah. It's like, I just don't get it. From a constitutionalist standpoint, you'd want America to be so free that, yeah, like, okay, there's someone in a furry costume, dude. Like, I just don't care. You mess with blow-up dolls in your basement. Like, I just don't.
That's why I said they literally, like, it's ingrained to have hate. That's why I said it's just like, wow, y'all really are bothered by people that live differently to you. That's crazy to me.
We're going to go down to Tampa.
And
we're going to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to make some friends. We're going to bond. We can make fun of these people like we are right now till we're fucking blue in the face too and stuff. But the bottom line is we go down there and we set an example that, hey, yeah, we're going to debate, but we're also going to get down. And there's something we can come to terms with some of these men that are going to Charlie Kirk, confused about themselves, that we can bond with, and women, and they, and everybody. And that's the fact that we can, God forbid, maybe tax the corporations like we did pre-Reagan. Maybe the fact that we could raise the minimum wage. And also, you're giving out Mercedes sandwiches.
ham and cheese.
Love.
Yep. I do it. I just love to do it. I don't believe. I was at an event, this like rally, and some Trump YouTuber came through, and we were like, he was like going around terrorizing people, and I walked up to him at these protests. There's a lot of carts with food and stuff, and I gathered up some food for him, and I said, "Here you go." And the group I was with her were like, "What are you doing, Mercedes?" And I'm like, "Watch this. He'll stop harassing people if I feed him." And I fed him, and we talked, and yeah, he left. He stopped harassing people. And he saw the food too, and he was like, "What? Why are you giving this to me?" And I'm like, "Well, it's hot as fuck. We're in Texas, and I thought you needed a Gatorade and maybe a snack, you know." And he was like, and he took it. And I don't know. I've noticed that when we're nice, like that guy who was up on this panel earlier, he came in hot, and I'm just sitting here like, I need you to understand, bro. We're just kind of trolling here. He left saying, "Oh, never mind. You guys are kind of cool."
Yep.
And he was all right.
Yeah.
You know, you explain it in a real cool, romantic way that anybody that's, you know, disenchanted with shit right now would want to turn to. You have a good sense of humor. You can debate like a pro and stuff, but at the end of the day, we're not at each other's throats, and we're not making absolutes like the alt-right. We want community. We want people to come over and not just, hey, we're going to win a debate or whatnot, but we're going to give out sandwiches. We're going to give out hugs. We're going to give out comedy. We're getting back to Haight-Ashbury and the Merry Pranksters and having a sense of, hey, if people are disenchanted with Pumpkin Spice Satan, what are we going to have to give them an alternative? And that alternative, you know, can be sort of a low-rent Coachella. Yeah, we're going to debate. Yeah, we're going to fight for what we believe in, but we're also going to have a little bit of fun and maybe do some comedy songs about the Epstein thing.
I love you.
Treasure, man.
Yeah, he's so needed. I need that because there are people who don't like me right now because I think like that. I say let's be nice to these people, let's make friends, and that is the reassurance that I needed in my tactics.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's what I looked for when I was getting into this around 2012, and I found through an activist named Vermin Supreme who approached it. He was part of the Rainbow family, and he was also somebody that was very much in touch with Haight-Ashbury, and he approached everything with comedy. And it wasn't comedy, I'm going to scream in a cop's face, my daddy issues, or I'm going to just scream until somebody arrests me. It was entertainment. It was bringing somebody to equal ground. Whether we feed them, give them a hug, make them laugh, let's find community first. We don't need to go at each other's throats. We're going to give out sandwiches. We're going to give out pins. We're going to give out, you know, hugs. We're going to give out comedy. And if they throw us out, let them throw us out with absurdity. You know, I'm going to wear a beautiful alligator costume. It is cut to the hip. Ugh. You know,
are you going to put a thong on the outside of it?
I do. I have a USA Speedo, and, you know, I'm going to be Gary the Guantanamo Gator.
So, Mercedes, I just want to share with you, like, one of my favorite memories. So, I'm from Minnesota, and the RNC was in Minneapolis. I think it was like 2008, something like that. And I went down there to photograph the event. And
actually,
people were
yes,
handing
I
out
am,
sandwiches.
Alley Cat.
And I was like, this is the coolest fucking thing ever. They were just, there was a guy on stilts. I remember he was on stilts. He was way up here. He was just like
America
throwing out sandwiches and little baggies to everybody. And I was like, how fucking cool are Democrats?
I made that announcement earlier today on stream.
I really think
the stream I did earlier today, but yeah.
I have made a lot of ground
gonna be doing these TikTok panels more. I'm gonna be uploading more content. Just, you know, going in MAGA to promote the tour. It's only like a week left till they do Tampa, and then after that, I don't know where the next stop would be. No, you good, Allie. I was just letting you know. You know, everybody gonna be where they at.
I'll be friends with these people.
But yeah, I'm excited. That's why I was on this panel in the first place.
Get these people to change their mind. Because I think that,
but I'm probably finna get off. I've been streaming all fucking day. I've been streaming since like 1 o'clock. Then I was on a panel on somebody else's channel, and then I was on here.
all of it.
So I'm probably finna get off of here though in a second, man.
You just psychologically do not make ground with people when you put them on the defense. You never do. I mean, it's literally anti anything that we know about psychology. So I said, okay, well, if that's not going to work, if being like, you fucking suck for your vote, you piece of shit, if I do that and that don't work, why would I keep doing that if I want the result to be changed? If I'm going to get them to change their mind, I'm going to approach it with, okay, being your friend might get you to see my humanity and then see my position. I got a documentary we'll be watching in Discord. It's this white Supremio dude and his white Supremio brother in and out of jail, right? They are abhorrent, saying abhorrent things. By the end of the documentary, they're completely accepting, the guys are completely accepting of his fruity daughter, and is totally, like, in this deconstruction of he no longer is caring about people's race, that he is open to dating people outside of his own. Like, the progress that you see from this guy in the beginning to the end is insane, and it's simply because one guy got to know him, became his friend, and helped him deconstruct his ideas over the course of, like, 10 years. And it took a long time, but it changed not only his life, but his brother's life, and his son's life, and his daughter's life.
Yeah, that's like Daryl Davis. He was a literal black man that went to these Triple K rallies, and he convinced dozens to turn their back on it. And it was just by reaching, which is brave. I got to hats off to that guy. That's a hero. But yeah, that's what it takes. Open the conversation, you know.
Oh yeah, it is.
I mean, I live in a sea of red. So it's like my wife and I are the only leftists up here, basically. But like we're friends with all of our neighbors that are MAGA supporters, and we're slowly kind of getting in there and they're realizing that we're not evil, you know. So
where are you?
Montana.
I'll be up in Wyoming in August for 2 weeks, going through the Tetons horseback.
Good time of year. Good time of year.
Yeah. I do it occasionally. Go up there, mule train, huge mule train. Go through the mountains for camp out there for like week, 2 weeks, and just fish. I'm bringing all my fishing gear. Really, I'm just fishing. All I do is fish, dudes. I live for fishing.
Nice.
That's all I like to do is fish. Hey, Rohan, did you want to say something? Because you're in the comments wanting to say something, and I wanted to give you a chance to say it.
I just joined. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, is this a debate? What's going on? I just wanted
Are you
to drop in
MAGA?
and say hello. I would say I'm conservative.
Okay. Do you like Donald Trump?
I would say my preference of him has declined ever since he took office, but I would still say I prefer Trump over Kamala Harris or any Democratic nominee.
Okay.
Why?
Well, I mean, you sound pretty reasonable, so we'll start there.
Is there anything a Democratic nominee would be able to do or say or propose that would get you to vote for them, or is it just kind of like you just believed that Democrats are kind of the enemy, I guess?
No, I mean, I'm not like say if you took like Trump's politics and put them on the Democratic side, I would probably vote Democratic. It's not like I see Democratic on the ballot and I'm like, nope, never voting for that, you know?
And what did you like the most about Trump? Like, what made you vote for him?
I would say the border, just seeing it under Biden Harris and how it kind of went to poop. And I know during Trump's term it was significantly better, and I trusted him to uphold and continue what he did from 16 to 2020.
Do you think what he did in 20 from 16 to 2020 could have been upheld longer if legislation was passed? Or do you think like running EOs on the base of COVID, and then not being able to continue the EO on the basis of COVID ending? So like I get your position with the border, because like I obviously everyone knows we have a border crisis. I sound like a broken record here. My issue is him not passing legislation to actually address the border.
Wait, what is it? I mean, I know like some stuff. You said EO. What is that?
Executive order. So basically, in his first term, he said, "Oh, COVID's happening. Well, we're gonna enact this archaic law that we can do simply because we're in an active pandemic right now that allows us to like just go on these heavy deportations and shut down the border, right? So, but that's an executive order, and an executive order isn't legislation. So what happens is he leaves office, the executive order ends up not being renewed, and then as a result, we're back to square one. So when we say like the border went to shit under Biden, I'd argue the border's been shit, and we're just not getting any legislation passed to like actually address the problem. In Biden's term, though, he did. I mean, it's under his term, but the bill was drafted bipartisanly by a Republican and a Democrat to bring to the table the Langford bill, which was addressing these border concerns to some degree. I mean, it was doing a good job comparatively to what we have now. Proposed a better job, and then Donald Trump called and said, "Do not pass this. It shan't dare pass under fucking Joe Biden because holy hell, we can't give him a win. 1, 2, I want to run on this. 3, he wants to be able to. I don't want to even say he wants to be able to take
credit.
What you mean, right?
Credit, yeah. I don't think he necessarily wants to take credit for the legislation in the first place because I don't actually believe he's going to pass legislation.
Wait, are you MAGA or what do you consider yourself?
I'm like a moderate, independent.
Okay. Wait, so could you admit that Trump has kind of followed up on what he said he would do about the border, and that's definitely 100% like tightened up now?
No, the thing is, it's not tightened up though. Like an executive order is a band-aid, so that's a temporary solution. So if Trump, who has the majority right now and could bring legislation and could pass legislation on this border, like addressing the actual issues so that we can close down the border, so that we can make the processes to become a citizen more efficient, not undercutting vetting, but just more efficient, because the lack of efficiency is due to not having judges, not having people work these cases. He could bring legislation to the table that would be a permanent solution, and he's not doing it because he wants to continue to run on this issue. So an executive order is what he's operating off of right now. That's not legislation, and the minute he's out of office, it's going to go away with it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's actually like a good point. I could see like why you think that. And I agree, yeah, that like an EO is kind of just like a band-aid, and I think it's been like an effective band-aid, but obviously, like you said, it's only temporary.
So at the end of his term, would you, if he doesn't pass legislation, would you support him? Like, let's just say he didn't win the first time. Let's say he was running again legally, right? In 2028. If he didn't pass legislation by the end of his first term, would you then vote for him based on the fact that he would probably be running on the immigration issue?
If throughout the 4 years he ran from 24 to 28, if those border numbers stayed low, then yes. But if they began to spike at the end of his term, then I would probably question my kind of trust in him.
Well, the question was, if he doesn't pass legislation in those 4 years, would you, because again, the executive orders can just kind of temporarily keep whatever his image up as how good he is on the border. But at the end of his term, those executive orders can just be overridden by the next president that comes in. So if he really cares about it as much as he does, because he campaigns on it so hard, then he would want to pass real laws that stop the border from being open as it's put. So if he doesn't do that, why would you support somebody who actually doesn't really want to fix the issue? He just wants to run on it instead.
And keep in mind, while you answer this question, keep in mind that a bill was brought to the table. It was bipartisan. It was expected to pass. And because Donald Trump told them not to pass it, it didn't pass. So there was a bill bipartisanly, and he said, no, thank you.
So to his question, my short answer would probably be no, I wouldn't vote for him unless he did pass legislation, just because that would be a more permanent fix. And then do you think that if he proposed legislation, do you think it would pass and eventually be put in place, or do you think there would be opposition? Obviously, some opposition, but
I think it would
be something that I think would pass. Yeah, I think so too.
But right now, but to answer that question, we got to answer it effectively as to the point. Like when we talk about get that legislation to the table in 4 years, I argue he needs to, if he cares about his legislation passing, because we're going to see a couple situations play out here. These people in politics are highly manipulative. If you seem smart because you don't seem to vote off of person, you seem to vote off of policy, and you kind of seem like independent by speech. I think you're probably intelligent. We see this problem, of course. We see this issue, and it's going to play out like this, I believe. Donald Trump has till midterms to bring legislation forth because we will sweep the floor in midterms. Republicans historically take a shit in midterms. It never works out very well for them. So he needs to pass this legislation or at least bring it to the table soon. I do not think we're going to see him bringing legislation forth. And when up until midterms, I don't think we're going to see anything. When midterms comes, most likely the Democrats are going to try to start running the Langford bill. And I guarantee the Democrats will try to run the Langford bill. And if we don't have that big of a majority, and that if we have to get conservatives on our side, I almost feel as if Donald Trump, again, once more, will claim that the bill isn't good enough, even though any progress is better than no progress. You think you want to patch the hole in your boat instead of just leaving it wide open. He instead will tell them not to pass it. The Langford bill will fail once more, and then Republicans will go on to run on immigration again in the next 2028 election. And they think that it's just like you can predict this happening because it's sleazy politics at its finest.
That's exactly what I was going to say, just in way more words. Well done.
Yeah, and I'm with you, dude, because the Democrats do. I mean, it's like the majority of America does not want these politicians to be lobbied. We don't want corporate lobbying. That the democracy says we don't want this, and the majority, the democracy is supposed to be them listening to the majority. Why do they get to do corporate lobbying, like insider trading? I think all of us bipartisanly do not think that these people should be engaging in insider trading. Yet they get to do so because there is zero representation of what the people actually want. And it's frustrating because no one's standing up for it. And that's our politics. We have probably nihilistic, but.
Wait, so I have like a genuine question. So if without legislation, is it possible for the border numbers to stay low through 28? And if they do stay low through 28, would they really have anything to run on? Because if they're already low, then almost obviously it's still an issue, but it would be like coming into the 2024 election, I felt like everything was like border, because that was the crisis. Do you think if the numbers stay low, it won't be as big of an issue and they wouldn't really be able to run on it because it's not a crisis anymore?
He ran, so in his, when he went for his second election, when he tried to run for his second election, he ran on trying to continue maintaining the border, and he ran on trying to continue building the wall. He ran on the continuation. He just tried running on a continuation of what he was going to do. And I think, like, I heard a lot of excuses from conservatives saying that, yeah, he's going to just EO his first term and then his legislation his second term, which, again, doesn't make sense. Like, Republicans, realistically, if they want to do anything, they have to quickly pass as much shit as possible in their first 2 years because they always get slammed in midterms. And he knows this. Republicans know this. The RNC knows this. These PACs, Heritage Foundation, they all know this information. So I think it's going to be yeah, we need to keep the border secure, and we're the only ones who will do it. Low-key flashbacks. They're going to give the 24 rerun flashbacks of their campaign that they ran on this time, and those AI-generated videos of, you know, migrants with 2 arms and 3 legs hopping over barbed wire fences, and they're going to run that shit again. And you know, it's like we have an issue. Yeah, we have an issue, but the problem is we have politicians who aren't providing the solution.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like, when it comes to Trump, like, I like him for the most part, but if I could change one thing about him, it's just how he always brings up Biden and how bad he is. Like, it gets hard to defend him when all he talks about is Biden did this, Biden did that, and it's like, all right, bro, that's in the past. Let's focus on making it better instead of what somebody else did. You know what I'm saying?
So if you had a Democrat that ran on wanting to bring immigration reform, they like ran on middle class policies and then ran on immigration reform while securing the border, would you be inclined to vote for them?
I would have to look at like more into the tax stuff because I'm not too well informed on that stuff. But if I felt I would, if they had those most important, which would probably be the border, like you said, I would definitely take a good look at it and I would think about it. I wouldn't be totally opposed to that.
Cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think you're you know, a way more informed voter than some of these people we deal with, and I think that you see a genuine problem. I think a lot of people see a problem and they're grasping for solutions, and it's frustrating because I can also argue, like, we had Democrats in power. Where was the border legislation up until Biden? And then we had border legislation up until Biden. I'm like, great, I'm glad that he tried to pass that. I'm mad that Donald Trump shot it down. But like, a lot of people voting for Donald Trump is a built-up frustration of almost 20 years of just like stagnant policy, and then someone comes through with this wrecking ball approach, populism, level maximum ultra. I am the swamp drainer 3000. We are going to take down the deep state. You know what I mean? And of course, anyone would be like, for sure, change. Is this a little bit different than the bureaucratic politics we experience day in, day out? For sure. So I see the vision. It's disappointing that our politicians have let us down so much thus far that this was ever able to happen in the first place.
Yeah. Also, this is a question for like all you guys in here. What do you guys think about like ICE and deportations? What are your thoughts on that?
In what way?
Like what's happening right now, or
Yeah,
ICE as an entity?
Be more specific.
Yeah, like what do you think about like people were talking about due process and how they're deporting them and the detention centers and all that?
Disagree.
Yes, it's getting to the point where it's just feeling inhumane and unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Because even the people that voted for
The
him staunchly,
concentration
they said you're gonna get rid of the criminals, and now it's just whoever he can grab up. Of course, I'm being facetious, but you know what I'm saying. He's not mostly rounding up criminals.
Yeah, I'm all for like putting the criminals and the human traffickers and like those almost not literally concentration camps, but I'm all for putting them in prison because if they're criminals, they should go to prison. But for those who just came in illegally, I don't think they should be manhandled and treated like they're so dangerous.
But
unless
right
they're
now it's at
actually
50-50.
Yeah, and this
so
is
it's sorry, Lotus, you go ahead.
And I was saying this is kind of just what happens when like you get sold on lies, because he came in pretending like there was this huge influx of these massive criminals that are just running the streets, and now that it's not really happening, you have to put on this facade of we're look at all these all these illegal immigrants we're getting at. It's like, well, yeah, but now you're just picking out people that have families that's been here for a while, or misidentifying people, and you have less criminals rounded up than just people that's just been here illegally.
Yeah,
and people
right
are
now,
being grabbed up who are legit American citizens. They just have brown
that's
skin.
crazy. I've heard about that.
Yeah, well, and I think for the most part, like they're I think one of them got detained for like 24 hours. So I don't think we have a case of like someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we have a case of like a U.S. citizen being deported yet. But like, it's just, for me, the biggest frustration is when I look at the numbers and it's like 50%, only 50% of these people being deported are criminals. And the other portion of that number is like people who were brought over the border when they were like 5 years old against their will by their parents, and they're actively seeking immigration processes the right way, and they're showing up to their court dates, and that was all fine and dandy. They've been doing this, showing up to these court dates for the past, couple years now under the Biden administration. It was no issue. They could go in and not expect to be nabbed, and all of a sudden they've now been rug pulled out from under them. They go to an immigration court hearing, and they're
being nabbed
in a detention center, and it's like, but like they've done everything right. We gave them an exception because they were brought over here when they were a child. They're going through the legal processes, and we're nabbing them, and they're doing everything that they were supposed to do. That's when I'm like,
yeah,
hey.
no, that actually makes sense, because I think you made a good point saying like if they're really trying to gain citizenship, I think we should allow them to do that. And if they're not skipping their court dates, they're doing everything they should be doing. I think, like, props to them, and they should have the chance to become a U.S. citizen without just getting thrown out of the country.
Yeah, and
They're
that's my biggest
also
issue is.
Well, I was just gonna say they're not being thrown out of the country. They're getting put into these ice camps. Like, I mean, the least we can do is be humane and send them back home where they just came from.
And I think, okay, so like there's processing that has to happen, and that's why they're in these detention centers. And like I understand this process has been used by every president before. So like getting sent to these detention centers has been something that we've seen under pretty much like every president. That's not out of the ordinary. It's who is being sent to these detention centers that is out of the ordinary. On top of the fact that we had a situation in which we have a barber right now who has no criminal record, who has been working in this country for, I think it was like 8 years, doing nothing wrong, trying to like seek asylum in a legal status here in America. A barber who is LGBT, okay, never been to El Salvador in his life, picked up, boarded on that plane. He's sitting in CCOT right now. Like, he's sitting in the El Salvadorian prison, and he's not even from there. He did nothing wrong to be there. You're going to deport him to his own country, but instead you put him in a place he'll never escape. That was an innocent man that his whole life has been ruined. He didn't deserve to be there. I just don't.
Yeah, that's
those
crazy.
Things, yeah.
Do you think the fault for that necessarily goes on Trump? Because honestly, when it comes to that, I don't really know. Like, who do you think's to blame?
Yes, I think the fault goes on Trump, because if Obama was able to get criticized and then up his deportees of 91% being criminals, then I think Donald Trump has the ability to do the exact same thing. Like, Donald Trump was told specifically not to send that plane. He was court ordered not to send that plane, defied court order, sent the plane anyways. He was in charge of that, and he sent it anyways. You know what I mean? And so I put the blame on him 100%. I think just because we have a problem here in America, I don't think that the blame, whoever's handling that problem, the blame goes on them. We can't blame, oh, you created the problem, or Biden created the problem. The problem hasn't even been attempted to be solved since the fucking 90s. Like, we can't blame any one person, but we should blame the person who's handling it poorly.
Hey, y'all, I'm about to head down. I'm about to get
Logic, I fucking love you. You're awesome.
Yeah, I love y'all too,
all right.
man. Y'all enjoy y'all night.
Later, Justin.
Yep. Yeah. Rohan, you got a good head on your shoulders, man. So
yeah, for
good luck.
sure.
I
sure.
appreciate it.
You betcha. All right, take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Y'all too.
All right, see you guys. Appreciate y'all.
Yep.
Okay, stream. We're gonna call it. I've been doing this for a while today. Allie, I appreciate you for hanging out with me in the stream. You were the soul survivor to the end. But yeah, y'all, this was fun. Hopefully next time, it gets some more engagement on the stream with the panels. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of back and forth, weird shit going on. But yeah, y'all, thanks for tuning the stream, man. If you made this point in the stream, make sure to leave a like, comment, sub. If not one, then all three. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.